Boom. All right. Well, go ahead and start playing, bud. Are you using the big filler rod for this one? I feel like you should start there.
Yeah.
Huh. We'll see.
What we got? Where's it?
It's right there. Viewer eye discretion advised. Due to no, it's not gonna hurt through the camera. It's just gonna white out. They might not be able to see nothing. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna watch it while I do it. Obviously not that way. You're gonna put your hand right in the way.
Yeah, so you're up here.
Super fast truck. What's up, brother? How's the audio? You hear me good?
You're not going to see it in the weld anyway.
Well, they're gonna be able to see some of it, but yeah, I think you're right. I'm gonna have to change. I don't suppose you're willing to move your whole setup to. Okay. Just set up. Don't actually weld, so I can see how it's going to look on what you're going to do for the camera, and then I'll move adjustably. Hey, watch where you're putting the tungsten there, bud. It's good. Yeah, perfect. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. How's it going tonight on a? What is tonight? Tuesday? Wednesday? Wednesday. How's that, Gary? Does that spot look good to you?
I feel comfortable.
Okay, I'm good. Hit it.
You want that?
Yeah, I'm set with it. Hey. Oh, you dipped it, didn't you?
No.
Hold on. You gotta keep your. Hey.
I went slow, but then I lost it at the end because I had to move my whole hand.
So how do you position yourself in a way?
I guess you just have to help be comfortable. You have to have a really steady hand.
Yeah. So I know the start and stop's not. Oh my eyes, it's not. Come on, you know you're good.
I'm gonna hit it again.
Yeah, do your thing. I'm watching it through the screen over here, which is kind of cool. Let me. I'll put the link up in a minute here, boys. But the computer is literally right where he's at. Whoa! Oh God! All over the place. What do you? Are you hopping all over?
Huh?
It looks like on the screen. It looks like you're hopping over.
I think so.
All right. Okay, so definitely undercut too much there. A
So
little bit too much.
I tried to do it with less filler.
Yeah, you can see it's not enough filler. And then there it's okay, but you're undercutting on that side.
Does it stick?
Oh no, you're good. You should be fine. It'll stick a little bit here and there, but it won't be. All right, let me do a few things before you set up for your next run. What's your next plan? Because what other pieces do you have? That went really quickly. We need to figure out what we're doing for blanks. All right. Hey, it's probably really hot, bud. You just welded it. Just saying. All right. Let's see here. Invite. Copy. Get this in here. Oh, that's what I never did was go over here. I did a lot of things. We're going to go ahead and make that on. And then one more thing of housekeeping, if anyone's here with us. You got that other piece, right? You can use those.
I was just gonna clean it off and do some bubbles on it.
That's true. You got a whole bunch on top you can play with. Be careful you don't cut your hand off while you're doing that. You guys are missing the show here. Need me to do that for you?
The tool is kind of cool.
Listen, the hands are the tool. Come over here and run the camera so they can see that you just need to be a man. Oh, they don't need to. I'll put it down here for them.
I just want everyone to know that this entire shop is so janky, unfocused, safe tool.
It's called the dungeon for a reason. So yeah, I 100% would agree with that sentence. What do we got here? Oh, I gotta still do a few things. I gotta pin that comment. See if it even came up on the actual YouTube or not. All right, here you go. Let me get on over here. We are super disorganized tonight, but I feel like we're super disorganized all of the time.
Even the fucking pliers are broken.
Did you break the plier? Those were not broken before. Thank you very much.
So you did the same thing you were talking about earlier, where you beat the shit out of them up until a certain point.
Yes. Yes. All right, show. All right. Sorry, Cletus. I don't know what's going on. All right, let's do this. And then, oh, nope. Did I undo that? Oh, there you go. 10. You know, yourself. Cletus, you still here? What are you doing? Come on in. Say hi. Yeah, Cletus, they didn't put your stuff up. Is that no hearing right now? Why can I not hear that? That's interesting. Gotta get to bed. All right, brother. Well, I appreciate it. How's the audio? Because I don't hear myself. Stupid Fast Truck said it was good earlier. I don't know what's going on with that. Do I have? Oh, great. Okay, so I've lost it here. All right. It's a little muffled actually, but it's okay. All right. Yeah, I'm using my Beats headset, but right now I don't have any playback in my ears at the moment, so I'm trying to figure that out.
Should I start playing again?
I'm
just gonna start playing puzzles.
You can just start laying puddles. All right, they're here for the puddles, so go. Don't let me stop you. They don't need to listen to me. I can read and interact with the chat.
I can't read, so.
Yeah, you can't read. I can't hear, so we'll be perfect. I feel like they made a couple movies in the 80s about this.
Just me and my little red light buddy.
Yeah. Are you gonna be doing filler, or are you just doing?
I'm gonna try to get those dimes that I got before.
Yeah.
So with the smaller filler.
You're gonna stay with the small stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Good luck, brother.
Let me see how far it gets you.
Not very far. It's small. Oh shit. Let me Oh, you shouldn't have to clean it again. That should be fine.
Oh, that?
Yeah, no, that'll be fine. That doesn't have to be done every single time. You're good. Any way I can get you to turn just slightly? Is that acceptable?
I can do this.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. So I think that will help with the view. You good?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's a good shot. Let's stack it down. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. We'll see. He's learning, and I'm well, probably not even as good as he is. So that's what this is. We're gonna start playing around here and there and see what we can do. How'd that go? That don't look bad. I feel like you were too quick up there. You'll have to show the camera once it cools down a little bit.
I don't think I was too quick. I tried to fill that bridge where I It's taking away too much material.
Well, I guess you see how it's like even stack, even stack, even stack, and then they get kind of long right
Kinda that way
here.
on everything I've done so far, though.
Well, okay.
So I think I need to slow down once I get too far.
That's what I'm saying. I think you start off slow and then you speed up for some reason. I'm not 100% because mine doesn't even look that good, so it's kind of hard to say. All right, so Pat Paulson says leave your torch over the weld longer.
Over the longer? Or do I get it more gas?
He says leave your torch over the weld longer. It might be actually once you're done, you don't want it to come off until the air stops coming. That might be what he's talking about. Don't lift right off once you're off the pedal. That's what he's talking about. Yeah. Yep. Pat, how are you doing, brother? Appreciate the input over here. We have no idea what we're doing. I wouldn't say no idea. Okay, see how you lifted too early though?
Yeah.
Right now, this thing should be still over the top of there because there's still argon coming out, like right now as we're talking. Now you should have lifted. Yeah, and try not to drag it all over the table too.
Please drag it.
When you hit the cup on the table. Yeah. No, you're good. So yeah, you got to leave that on there like way longer because otherwise, when it's red hot like that, it's just sucking impurities out of the air into it.
So just leave it there for a little bit after
No, until it like shuts down. Like normally, the air will stop or the argon will stop just before the fans turn off, and that kind of gives you an idea. You can hear it when it's flowing, right? Yeah.
So yeah, I got way too hot. I'm getting
here. Yeah. But you're also coming in after it was already hot one time, so.
All right.
You know what I mean?
To leave it there
At this point, we're just burning around in here playing. Like that piece of metal is kind of good for just kind of like some. Yeah, weld the coupon, not the table. You sure you want to stick with the little guy? Yeah, it's just stuck on the one little corner. It'll wiggle right off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting to see it more clear. I can try to do the same thing I'm doing, but with the thick one.
Yeah. Because I believe you should be using that thick one because we're using that right size tungsten. Yeah, post flow is what Pat says it's called. Post flow. Yep. Don't go right over the top of what you've already done. You do it like in a little bit different spot. Yeah, turn more. It's probably good and screwed up at this part, Pat. I cleaned it up a little bit ago. We'll let him run this one and I'll check it. See, I might need to clean it up for him again. Oh. So you can definitely tell there's a lot more material, but you can also see how.
I think with more material, you need to go slower.
You do, but that allows you to play with the heat. The seat, yeah. All right, let's see here. It's actually not the worst, guys. Let me get it to where it actually focuses. I don't know if that looks at all. It's actually not that bad at the moment. He hasn't dipped it nearly as bad as the last time he dipped it. All right, he's saying the arc is way too long. Like you're too far off of the material. So get closer. Hey, you could like use your gloves. Yeah, just saying.
All right, get closer.
Get closer, but not too close. Okay, he says practice keep the arc tight, then work up to adding. So don't even play with adding yet then. Okay. So just get the filler out of there and just work on pushing the puddle around. Yeah. You want the arc tight, he says. and let it flow. Having a coach, I don't know if I'm helping or hurting Stupid Fast. I'm trying to be encouraging. I'm way better at telling him what he's doing wrong than actually doing it right myself. So which one was the one you just did there? The top?
Yeah.
I don't know. Show it to Pat. Clamp the cube under the table would be way easier. He says clamp it. We don't have the right clamps for this table. No, don't do it with that. But, are you gonna show it to him? Yeah.
This is what we're working with.
Why don't you clean up a new piece here? It's not looking fabulous.
Yeah, this is not what you want at this point in the game.
All right, here, do this. Cleaning up the two new coupons over there, or whatever we're gonna call that, and then we'll try to set it up not so. What are you doing? They're not hot. Just pick them up. Oh. Hey, just put it in the vise. It'll be a lot easier. You already got to cut it, don't you? You're not going to cut that tab off like you did the other ones? I mean,
What are you doing?
I was going to fix the audio issue I'm having.
Audio, sounds fine to me.
Yeah, there's no audio, Dick. Gotta start somewhere. Yeah, we're working on it. What's up, Dancing? All right, let's see here. Let's fix this audio issue. What's up, Brandon? How you doing? Then sound control panel. Properties. Level. A. That is not doing it either, though. All right, so that microphone is working. I've got no output sound. That is awesome. Gotta love it. All right, so he says hit it with the acetone before starting again. Probably not the worst idea. Right here. Hit it with some of this. You might need to go upstairs and get another clean rag. You know where he's got them up there?
I do not want to smell this shit right now.
Oh, that stuff's fine. It's quick, easy. The cut wheel? The cut wheel. Or the death wheel. All right, what do we got here? Okay, he said, hit it with some acetone before starting. Pretty okay, going back and forth. Everyone's saying, hey, he said, don't worry about making a joint. Just practice puddle control and post flow. So basically what I was saying earlier. He wanted to play with it, and wasting some steel never. These are all pieces of metal that we're laying in, so I dig it. So you're saying don't even put two pieces together, Pat? You're saying just play on top of the.
Well, if that's the case, we can put this.
I don't want to use that one. That's
that?
good metal. We'll make actual parts out of that.
We're not gonna make good parts if we can't weld.
No, worst case, I'll get somebody that can weld. The grinder. Oh, yeah, the grinder. Being so close to it, I didn't think about that. But yeah, I was a little close to the grinder. It was not, the control was not, or the audio was not great, which I'm still having issues with. I've got nothing in my headphones right now. I wonder.
It's hot.
Is it hot, Gary?
Cool hot.
No. Say it isn't so.
I grabbed it like it was a Dorito.
He said, learn your pedal and puddle control first. Yeah, so that's two people that have said that today.
I don't believe one of them.
You believe one of them. You know what? I'm not mad at you.
Oh, okay. Well, like,
You're like, yeah. I would take his advice over mine.
well, here, why don't you get in here and just a moment?
You can figure out the audio situation here. That'd be great. So I don't have any. There's no cymbals in my headphones. There's no. There's no. I have no audio. So if I go right here,
Yeah.
and I go, hey, sound. It says it's hooked up to my Beats, right?
Why did you just do it off the?
Because I didn't. I'll want the microphone to be there so I could talk away from while you're doing. Thanks for your help. Appreciate that.
I did everything I could.
You're doing great things.
What about this piece?
Yeah, you can clean that one up if you want to do it on that. Yeah, it's real thick. Like, all right, tighter and more consistent your arc, the better your welds will be, he says. Yeah, I'm sure you could. I mean, you're gonna have to put a lot of power into it to melt through because it's as thick as it is, but that might be. I don't know if that's beneficial or not. Either way, you can clean it up and use it. I don't care. That piece is perfect for this, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, you just swapped it over. All right. So if I go into sound settings here, Gary, look. I go to sound control panel. It shows that all of my outputs are dead for some reason. Like, what is going on here? Nope, that's not it. Okay. Now, okay, so I have it over there. Disable that one. Crap. We're getting there, boys. We'll be back to welding soon. Cleaning up some metal over there. I believe that is what it is set in, Pat. I'll have to double check, but I'm pretty sure that's what he's got it set in, or what I have it set in.
So what is putting the acid on the metal do?
Cleaning it. The cleaner the surface, the better the arc and everything is going to be. The dirtier it is, the more it's going to mess around with you. All right, set that. Okay. So I have headphones now. Hey, we're back. Frickin' finally. Hopefully you guys still have audio. I've been going through a bunch of stuff right here. See what we got here. Yep, everything looks fine. All right. If he junk, might as well swap the. Yeah, you know what? I might as well clean that tungsten up before starting over. It's actually really good. You did really good. The tungsten's like, will it focus? Come on. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get a good focus on it.
Do the makeup girl thing and put your hand behind it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it looks still pretty good. I'm gonna lop it off and redo it, but that part you did really good with. A lot better than last time. Holy crap. Yeah, no shit, bud. What do you think it was gonna be?
I didn't know it was personally. I might have put it in.
Did you touch it? Because if you did, it'll hopefully got caught and everyone saw it. God, I hope so. All right, so I don't think that's out too far. All right, did you wipe it down? No, you didn't go grab the rag yet, did you?
No.
Wipe it down and we'll be ready to run here. What are you looking for? I guess it's still plugged in, bud.
All right,
Or no, it's not plugged in.
I thought it said Tillamook. I was like, man, they're really taking over.
Tillamook, yeah, the gloves, they're taking everything, man. Anything has to do with cows, I guess. It's their clothes, leather. You need, yeah, a cleaner. It's not exactly how that works.
This isn't exactly real.
Well, listen, Pat Paulson said practice like you play or whatever. So super fast. The grind. I know guys that have been doing this forever and still go to a grinder and spin it by hand. I spent the money and got this Sharpie freaking deal that goes on the end of a essentially multi-tool or Dremel, and it's awesome. That's the only way I'm able to get it done. I don't. I mean, it's a thicker piece of metal, so it's the thickest piece of metal you've tried to play with. It's probably up towards the middle end, so I would say, yeah, more. I like it, Pat. I mean, it's definitely one of those things that's it's cool to have, and I think makes me somewhat able to weld some things here and there. All right, I gotta move the camera, Gary. Hold on. It's just not in a great spot. We'll go ahead and get the acetone out of here too, if you don't mind. Thanks. Cool. All right, you want the grain to run to your tip. Yep. Much faster. Oh, yes. Yeah, you saw how long it took me to, that parted it off and did it. So you're good, Gary. Go ahead. Sorry. Talking to the chat.
Oh, I dunked it.
Yeah, you did. Get it out of there before it hardens.
This is so fucking thick, dude.
Yeah. Hold on. It's ruined.
It's not ruined.
Oh, you just ruined it. I have to un.
All right, I'll throw it in the towel.
You touched the pedal a second time. I'm like, why is it still flowing? Yeah, you're good. Listen, little dump.
Yeah, no, I need a little.
Oh, little time for the habit.
Yeah.
He said slow down.
Slow down.
That's what he said. I would agree. I think maybe.
So it puddled faster than I thought it would, but still at a slower rate, obviously, than the other metal.
Okay. Huh.
It didn't take as long as I thought it would, but I didn't go full pedal down. So.
Well, yeah. So, and you weren't penetrating very far. Then I don't think. Well, no, you had a good bit at the end there. I forgot I'm not talking and you can't even see what I'm doing right now because I'm off the camera. I just can kind of see. So basically I'm spinning it in this guide to get the right profile. And then part it down and I'll turn the terrible noise off. Sorry, everybody.
Appropriately, what did I say?
What did it say?
Needs to be set 40 millimeters. 40 amps to every 1 millimeter of the steel that you're welding. So if we're welding at
Yep.
P gauge.
So, but I guess isn't that all handled in the pedal, right? JB weld. This is a lot faster, Fox. You want to run about 50% pedal. Oh. Man, I don't know. I haven't set up anything. I just been kind of doing it all with the pedal. Oh, I wouldn't say learning would be a stretch, I think, of what we're doing. Because all the welding I've seen you do so far, when I was paying attention to the box, you're only getting up at like 69 was where I saw you at the one time. So I was like, nice, keep it there. BRB, no problem, Pat. Appreciate all the help, brother. The other thing is, I'm pretty sure ours is, you can set all this. I think it's smart set. All right, I'm going to play with it a little bit if you're going to take a break. Here, take the headset, because this is, well, this is the mic. Mic on the mic.
I don't want to talk on the mic. They don't want to hear me.
All right, well, then don't talk on the mic. Sit right here. You're just going to have to, like, you know, tell me what's going on, because I can't read that and do this. You got the hood. Oh, yep. Well, at least that was the first one, drop it.
Plug it into a wah-wah pedal. Does it feel like
Does it feel like what?
it feels like music?
Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, I like your idea of just going down at the bottom here. I'm all over the place. Like, there's no line at all that I lifted. That's what I got to say.
The whole, if you plug into a wah-wah pedal,
Oh.
Peter Frampton joke.
Yeah.
Apparently he's the well-known TIG welder and artist.
Was he a TIG welder? I know he was. Peter Frampton did a lot of cool stuff with the.
And then Stupid Fast Trucks that he was showing the big.
Yeah. That's the stuff. Yeah, you've probably heard my dad playing it, actually. Man. So I'm pulling when I get lost in my.
So if you're righty, you want to move right to left.
Right to. Oh, so push is what he's saying. Yeah, I don't ever push, so okay. Stop. Yeah. I got to the end. And it was getting a little warm. I'm not wearing it. Oh, where'd we go? We're back. I mean, that was that one. The second one up.
That's pretty good.
That first one come across is just, screwing around.
Yeah, you definitely move right to left.
Yeah, I did. It's way better that way. Who said that? Whoever that was smart. Yeah, SMRT.
You can't see Shizer. So, not good, boys. But we're learning. Stick time. That's what this is. And that's what we're going to be doing the next couple of days. And maybe even longer. Figure we some live stream and share with you guys that want to hang out. I don't know if you can hear me at all. It probably sounds really far away because I'm here, but I'll put a glove on. The thing is, I believe we're getting it pretty hot, but I don't know, man.
Fuck the figure the welding skill on our neck now that I'm in a professional welder person.
Flux core. So like your welders from like Harbor Freight or something like that, or flux core. Yeah, they're your lower tier, I guess. But, you know, because not everyone you don't need shielding gas for a lot of normal welding stuff. So you could do the flux core for a bunch of stuff. Like stick welders are all flux core type stuff too. So. Okay. Remember, right to left. I feel like this is too slow.
No, this is.
The argon doing argon things.
How dumb is it? Why do I hear the siren from the purge every time you fire it?
So it's an inverter welder. It's a single wave, Miller single wave 210. So it really doesn't need a ton of amperage in order to do what it needs to do. So it runs up the Tron soundtrack every time we kick her into high gear. That one actually, Gary, I'm not disappointed. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you it's good because it's not.
Oh, it looks like it's getting better.
But I'm not angry at it either. You know, don't know what they can see. Don't know what they can't. Hey, it's getting warm, by the way. Yeah, listen. That's a line on a turd right there. What? I almost want to put some stuff on there now.
Yeah, try a little filler.
I know Pat would say go slow and don't. You know what? I'm gonna run one more.
All right, so when you get that puddle and you're ready to move next,
Yeah.
before you move from right to left, touch that puddle with it.
Yeah. We're gonna give it a run. We'll give it a run. We'll see. This is definitely where I start to lose competency.
Did it stick together? If yes, you're done. Good job. If not, make it stick together.
If not, add more stuff to stick it together. Way too hot there for a while. I really don't know what this is gonna look like, man. I was all over the fucking place with this one. Like, I was for a minute there. I was like, yeah, I'm doing something. And I was like, that is doo doo, baby. Oh, seriously. So there's about one spot where I'm mildly okay with that, and then the rest is garbage.
Yeah, and that's the same way in all the ones I did. It starts out really good.
Well, you can see where it's like it's going okay, and I'm getting to some, and then I was like, it gets away from me, and then I start like getting it back right there. But then you're at the end. But I'm doing better with, I think, stacking my.
You see it? Like you wait for that puddle up, you just touch it.
Yeah.
And continue.
Well, and the whole going.
Right to left.
I'm used to being able to go both ways on a MIG.
Joking.
Rips. All right. You want to take a run? I actually kind of dig both of those passes. Were pretty good. So if I were you, I would turn it around and do kind of what just start.
Push it.
No, I would start with just running these lines, and when you can get these lines run good, then because you can see I had 2 really good runs, and then it's hot dog shit up there. It didn't get better.
Things get worse before they get better.
Well, listen, this is like I told you. We went and spent the $7 in wire today to play with. I mean, I'm perfectly okay with that.
It's an acceptable deal. Is the let me go check something real quick here. Why is this auto rotation thing doing it? All right. This is still pinned, right? Yep. Hell yeah, Pat. Picking up dinner. Appreciate it. All right. We appreciate the help, brother. What'd you get for dinner? So, we did a little bit of playing. We're just doing lines back and forth. We're doing something, that's for sure. All right, yeah, I'm ready. I'm over here. You don't have to get so close to the edge that you're worried about blowing out like you did the last time you did it either, bud. I mean, there's multiple sides left. So if your MIG goes both ways, is it a bifluxual? Oh. I just, ooh. You doing what? That was way too fast.
I know, I realize that.
Okay. I didn't really, yeah, you saw how long it was taking me to get across there? Like, so what I did, run it up until you see a good puddle and then bring it back until it almost starts to look dirty. And then make it not dirty and then start playing, I think. Pat, let me know if any of that sound like good advice. Still too fast, way too fast from what I was doing. Okay, hold on. Yeah, see how I've got like a consistent size going?
Yeah,
that's kind of the size I think. Well, I mean, we'd have to ask Pat, who I think is the only one that knows. Maybe try walking the cup. What do you mean by walking the cup?
So he means like this. Your tongue is sticking out a little too much like this.
Okay.
Walking the cup would be like that.
Okay.
I don't think better than what I'm doing here, but that's basically
essentially what he's talking about. Yeah, I mean, you can also put the tungsten a little further in if you want, but I think
would need a longer thing to walk the cup. He's talking about you kind of set it toward the tungsten is
yeah.
1/8, and then you just. But the guys that do that are fucking. I don't know.
Well, I mean, maybe instead of doing it so aggressively, walk it just a little bit. Is I guess what he's trying to say, or I don't know. Play with it, but I would try going side and side so we're gonna get a lot of little ones instead of. Well, there's a whole other side of it too. You know what I mean? Well, don't try to walk it then. Just try to play with it a little, I guess. That's how you get those pretty weave welds in the videos, is walking the cup. Yeah, I feel like we're not there yet, Gary. I feel like just basic puddle control, like Pat was saying earlier. You're like He said the edge of the cup on the metal to help keep the arc tight. Okay.
Walking is kind of difficult. I think that's a mechanic you'll try to get down before you fucking start loading.
Well, see, here's the thing. See how you're lifting at the end?
Yeah.
So you need to start learning how to walk it and not see how you're lifting your arc up.
Yeah.
So you're too far up to begin with now. You got to get tighter than that.
Is that walking it? I don't think that's walking it.
Well, it is. You're walking back and forth. You're rolling at the end at some points. You got to keep it as parallel. I think as parallel as you need to be there. He says to keep that arc tight. Yeah, you want that arc to not be too long. I like watching videos of those guys. Oh yeah, seriously. And the setups they run are crazy too. But I guess also been looking into welding a little bit here and there. There's a lot of back and forth between pretty welds and good. You can practice the technique even without the arc to get muscle memory. Yeah, so basically what you're doing. Yeah. How's the tip look? Did I dip it at all? I didn't even look at it. Sweet. All right, well, you get good at the pretty welds, and I'll just do the ones that no one sees, and they just need to be strong. I have a feeling you're going to dip it. Anyone, what's the over-under he dips in the first walk?
I'm not going to walk it.
You're not going to walk? You've been practicing to walk it. You got to walk it now.
I'm not comfortable enough.
What do you mean?
Let me watch a walking it video, and I'll see exactly
we're making a walking it video right now.
First, where's the Chinese blueprint?
Chinese blueprint? What are we back in C-130s again? Just send it, Gary. Listen, you've got somebody who knows what he's talking about on the internet telling you right now we're doing it live. We're doing it live.
All right.
I mean, what more could you need?
You want me to walk? I'll try to walk it through that.
Gary, worst thing is you're going to dip the tungsten. I'm going to have to clean it again.
Really?
Just don't dip the tungsten.
I'm fucking walking it.
You do it. Oh, I will show you. Oh, that's too fast. Is that too fast? I don't know. Oh, Gary, it looks so wild from here. Oh, there is no way that is working. That is just all over the place. All right, stop. Oh, what is going on? What happened? Okay, that is something. You gotta turn it so they can see it.
Walking it is not that bad.
I think you gotta walk it slower.
Yeah, it's slower.
I think the walk was too quickly. But you didn't dip it. I thought you were gonna dip it.
The walk is...
Hold on, you were good there. Go back, zoom in. Right. All right. Turn it. Yeah. I think. Yeah, you can see there.
The walk is right.
Oh, they can tell where the walk is. I think you go down to just some straight puddle control, bud, and save the walking for. Maybe we start with the crawling, and we get to Christopher Walken later. Just saying. I think what he was saying when he meant walking is like just. I think what he meant when he said walking was putting it on here and just sliding it across instead of doing that crazy walking thing that you were talking about.
What it is.
Okay, well maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm putting it wrong, but I seem like getting there for sure. Ryan, how are you doing? Listen, there's a link up in there if you want to come get on. I was just watching one live we were doing the other day from back when we were in your garage there, brother. Oh, if you're coming here for anything but bad habits in place, we're all about bad habits and bad decisions here. What do you here? Let me help you. Yeah, I'm here for you, bud.
Oh, thanks, bud.
Yeah. Oh. You know, if you took that beanie off, it would fit so much better.
That would be so comfortable.
Just saying. All right, cool.
I'm gonna walk this out.
You're going back to walking it, huh?
I'm gonna walk this out.
All right. Well, after you walk it,
I walk long though. You want to walk it long.
you know what? You walk it long. You've earned it. Slow down this time. Slow. Do the walk at the speed you think. Too fast. Too fast. Too fast. Maybe you're getting in there, but still too fast, I think. Because if you don't have the problem is you're not letting the puddle is not forming all of the way. So like right here, that's not a puddle. That itty bitty little bit.
Okay, so like this.
No, I think you gotta get in here, actually get it to come off, and once it goes, you gotta be like, bring it across.
No, definitely not for sure.
I bet.
With how fast it was heating up because you're going over the same spot.
Listen, I'm telling you,
Don't get
every one of your puddles is these itty bitty little like tiny things. This is the closest thing you've done to a real puddle, but then you scooted her off.
Okay, I'll try to go slow.
Slow down, man. You're like the 1 minute man. You're already doing better than I did the first time. Well, you know what? We would be lying to you if we told you this was the first time. We didn't say it was the first time. It's just not. We're still not good at it. The first time I TIG welded, I did a terror. Had no business.
All right, ready?
Yep. Too fast. Slow. Make sure you don't melt the cup on there. Oh.
See, that's way too slow. I told you, man. It gets too hot.
Oh wow. That's just a hole.
Yeah. I told you. Nobody listens to me, man.
Okay, you know what I learned there? We're both wrong.
I'm right. That's what that's supposed to look like.
That is not what that's supposed to look like. I'll give you, it's not supposed to look that either.
I think also we're not at high enough amperage for sticking stuff around.
That's probably a good observation. Oh. All right. Well, I'm gonna play this other side, I guess. You got it real. Well, actually, no. There's a spot in here you haven't completely murdered yet. You know what? I think you should come show me how to be better. Oh, headset off. Sorry, boys. Put you right there. Stay with us now. We're still here. Okay. Big rod. There's the big rod. Tell me more. Alright. How's the view there, Gary? Camera picking me up good?
Yeah.
I'm so surprised you didn't dip this thing that whole time.
You gotta be careful.
Oh no, I just would have figured you'd have dipped it. Well,
It would be strong, but it doesn't look good. That's for damn sure. What we got up on there? Anything new? Oh, it doesn't look good on there though, but it's a little bulgy, boy. A little bulger. It's warm in here when you start welding, Gary. Weird. Let's see if I can make this not look like crap. Tell you what, that looks way better the second time over, right? What'd Fox say?
I missed the we'll do it live, you know.
I did say that. I definitely feel like I'm dumping way too much heat into this, but then, I don't know. Well, for fuck's sake, I cannot read that from here.
Will WTF's first take album be called All Killer No Fillers?
I believe it's more filler than killer at this point. I'm literally just laying things on top of things over here. Angle down. All over the place. Terrible. Alright, that was all over the freaking place. Way too much heat. Too fast, too slow, too not straight. That was bad. What is that?
This is exactly how they get the filling and Twinkies.
What's up, Becky? How you doing? So that is a hole I ran over earlier that apparently put a bunch of holes in. Look at these holes. When I got back near it again. So I laid bead there, I laid bead there, and then I've just kind of been stacking beads in on top of beads, like in between shit. Roll it straight. Fresh metal. I've been playing in crap this whole time. Yep, hold it. That was not bad. Shit, didn't post though. Moved myself. Gary, I might be onto something there on that one.
Yeah.
Well, it's no dimes, but it's a caterpillar.
That looks pretty good.
I mean, out of that pile of doo-doo there, it's the shiniest star. What do we say? Yeah, last one wasn't, I think it's too caterpillared. It needs to smooth out a little bit better, but I'm not ashamed to show that to people on the internet. What? Oh, give me a second. I'll go read my own comments. All right. Thanks to Tay. Are you using a pedal? I am. Be right back in 1 second. No, what's up, CP? How's it going, brother? Oh, man. Becky started to hear that. Dang. Oh, what's up?
Nothing. I'm about to try to weld this.
You're about to. Oh, easy. Yeah. The more I look at that, the more I'm like, it's not necessarily my favorite.
I'm trying to do something that's on the internet, see if that helps this as well.
Damn, Becky, sorry to hear that. Oh, CP in the basement. Sorry, brother. Give me 1 second. I'm getting my life together.
Coming in here. Oh, shoot. CP, I'm sorry. I missed you. Come on back. Uh-oh. What's going on? Where's my remote? Hey, there you are. Add to stream.
Not
Hey.
I was just watching some professional welding.
Oh, don't you dare call it that.
A lot better than I can do. That's for damn sure.
Well, we've it's one of those, we've got it sitting here and we're like, we're not doing anything better. We might as well start learning how to do some TIG welding.
Right.
I've actually got some parts coming in. I've got that extra frame for a Can-Am sitting around. So we've got some gusset kits and stuff coming in to
really
upgrade this frame. So we're like, we better learn how to do some TIG welding.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Oh, I lost you at hey there, brother. Did everyone else lose him, or is that just me? Oh, there he is. You there?
I got it. Sorry, rookie mistake.
No, you're good.
I had the YouTube in the background playing. Curious if you've ever seen these quads now, that are these not quads, but these side by sides that are well, they're I mean, they're all China. So I mean, what's coming with Japan? But
Yeah, I was gonna say you're going difference between China and Japan here, basically.
yeah, I mean, so I saw this one the other day, and it's called. I don't know if you're familiar. It looks like it has a 4-cylinder GM motor in it, maybe a Honda motor. I don't know.
Did it?
Um,
Oh, there might be
it's
time
a
for new
little
batteries,
ding on
Gary.
it. You know anything about them?
So the motors I know have been the points of contention for a lot of those Chinese deals. But I mean, realistically, you could Briggs and Stratton, and you're fine there. But that
These
kind of
are
depends.
these are definitely not those Briggs and Strattons. They're whatchamacallit.
You sure, Gary?
They're legit like uh hold on. Let me get the name.
Lights not on now.
Let me get the name of them before.
So I know a lot of the problem you can run into with the cheap Chinese knockoff ones are that you can have an issue with obviously steel. That's a big problem. They have the tubes are small. It's the problem I have with this Can-Am. Weight over everything else. The lighter you can make it faster. So you start running into issues with that. I don't know. It's kind of one of those.
They're called Adotis. You ever heard of those?
Never heard of them, but it sounds like another Chinese knockoff. Well, so what they do is they basically mass produce these things and then sell them essentially illegally. I mean, they don't pay for all of the, there's a lot of things that need to be paid for to run businesses. And so they run them until someone shuts them down and then they change the name and it's the same thing.
Right. Massimo. That's what they are. Massimos. They're built by Massimo.
Massimo. Oh, I thought those people that do the camo cover things, right?
No, well, this is called a BMS Sniper T1500.
Gears and Wheels says Briggs Strattons are becoming more like Honda clones these days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gears and Bratton. That's the Chinese ones. Yeah.
That's 2023 BMS Sniper T1500 cc 4-cylinder.
Oh, you dipped that one, Gary. No, are you sure? You're not going again, are you? Sorry. Look. Oh, that's actually weaving together. You just got two. You started two mentioned in the center, and as you get then turn it long ways. I don't give a shit. You see, grind it down and fix it. Sorry, CP.
Oh, you're fine.
Running back and forth. A lot of you still there? There you are. I know a lot of the problem you can have with the Chinese knockoff ones are that there are no parts availabilities as far as once you break them, and it's not a question of when you break them.
Yeah. Well, I heard these things called Massimos and kind of a little bit of hoopla in my area. People were bragging them up. They're like, you can get a 1500 cc for I don't know, 17 grand. Kind of crazy.
1500 cc is a lot. 1500 cc is a 1500 cc is a lot.
Yeah, it's only 108 horse.
108 horse and a 15.
How
much does the thing go? I mean, yeah.
It's like a pretty weak 4-cylinder car engine, is what I think.
But how heavy is the rig? I mean, that's the big deal.
That's a good question. I don't know how much it weighs. Oh, yeah.
Well, if you get up a fucking way, what do you mean derpy?
It looks a little derpy. I don't know what you want from me. I don't know that would be stuck together.
What are you talking about?
Let me go see here. What do I got? The problem is when he's welding, I can't be over here because the computer is right here. Why? You're gonna try and deal with. Oh, there he is. Oh, you were in there for a minute. I'm sorry about that, Steve. I literally saw you at the last second in the comment or in the in the deal there.
Who?
You when you were. I just saw the private chat just now. I was like, oh,
Oh no,
damn, you've been there for you've been there for a minute.
I'm good.
How you been?
Good. You talk to dude?
Here and there. He's been busy as hell doing real work. You know.
Yeah, me too.
He's I find when everybody gets to doing real work, they don't have time for my retired and not doing stuff during the day. Like
Well,
during the day, everyone's at work, and I'm just like, I'm doing stuff, but I'm always like, what's everyone doing?
I got home an hour ago, and I'm making lunch for tomorrow, and I'll probably be out by about in another hour.
Oh yeah.
This cold weather snap. Oh, there you go. Massimo is made by
Oh,
Hinson. SX I had.
you
Uh,
dipped that. You dipped that one, or you yanked it, didn't you?
I yanked it.
Yeah.
Never seen virtually
Oh,
the actual. Just did a Polaris Ranger for 180. Huh. Interesting.
really?
Yeah. There.
We
Tell
just
you
got
what.
our little Polaris, what is it, 200 Predator going. Put a new CDI box in it, did a bunch of other little stuff. The Phoenix. Predator, Phoenix. Predator.
You're talking about the dude in the woods.
I feel like the Predator is more like that leather chick at the bar that's, chasing down like 20, they're basically guys your age. But
That was
she's
just
like that.
when I was in my early 20s that I ran from.
Yeah, exactly. That aged leather. Polaris Predator, what a pain. Oh, yeah. So you're done? You're giving up on TIG welding for the night?
Yeah, for the night, yeah.
You really,
You got dueling TIG welders going?
you definitely left me something here, bud. Let me tell you. It's, wow, hey, if you're cold, right here is really warm.
You're fully invested in this side by side stuff, man.
I listen. I got a deal, and it totally sent me down a rabbit hole. I mean, like I said, the frame is. Oh, how can I even turn? I can't even turn this thing.
That's what you're building on is the frame supports or new frame or.
Well, we've got the new frame. Let me unplug some things from this stuff here. So, Cat, hey, what's up, brother? So that's the bottom half frame of the Can-Am Max, X3 frame that it was the spare essentially that it came with. They have their issues as far as they were made to be really light. Things weigh 1,600 pounds fully dressed. Before you start putting a bunch of other crap on it, but
you know what they say. Just because she wears a dress, doesn't mean she's a lady.
Oh, you are right there. So we're just doing some cleanup and gusseting and frame reinforcements on that frame while we have a bare,
right.
Because at this point, I don't know. I think the plan now, I kind of want to build a second one and try to fund a plasma table. I think is my ultimate goal.
Right.
So if I can get one of these out of Copart for any decent price and just swap everything over to a bulletproof frame and then just do upgrades along the way, or upgrade mine and just put the hand-me-downs onto this frame. I don't know.
Makes sense.
Either way, it's just sitting here. So I've got the Bentech software. You ever heard of that stuff?
What is it?
Bentech is the name.
Yep, Benpack. Yeah, good shit.
Not Benpack. Bentech is the software. It's like the bending software JD Square sells.
Oh, okay.
So what we've been doing is going through and measuring all of the bars and pick pointing and designing it in Bentech so I can reproduce the frames when I need to or want to or break mine.
Gotcha.
Huh. So that's I think I can share screen.
Well, you got to do everything with those things to save money, right? I mean, that's the name of the game, right?
Here, so
once you get into one of those, that's kind of the deal. Is that You're trying to figure out how to make them stronger and better and more reliable.
It depends what you're doing with them. I mean, if you're just gonna take it out on the weekends with your wife and take it easy and do some trail riding, a few little things, and I'm sure it'll be fine. If you're gonna go do the type of things that I do, where I just beat the ever loving crap out of it,
right?
Then you know.
So you got to
there's a lot of guys that build them up to. Well, there's guys that want to beef them up to jump them. There's, you know, it depends what you're doing. If you're going to
you're
the
trying
dune,
to make it so rugged.
Yeah, it just there's a bunch of different. All right, can you see that?
Oh yeah.
So this is as far as I've gotten so far on pick pointing and designing. I guess if I can, you got to run this with a mouse.
It's pretty serious stuff.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's the front end of that machine. No, I don't want to do updates because they don't actually work. And then you have to find all these dots and connect them and then make sure the parts. But once you have the parts listing, I can go to my parts layout, and this tells me all the pieces and lengths I need for all the things I need to cut. And then once I do a cutting list, it'll tell me all the copes and everything. Like if I want that one, that part 21, it's a straight. Like this software wasn't the cheapest when I got it, and I didn't need it for what I was doing at the time. But man, it's pretty cool to have.
That's pretty. That's definitely pretty. That's pretty awesome because it keeps you going. And I'll tell you what, if you do car repairs like that,
that is the trick. Well, so that's how. So I don't know if you saw the video where I did the inner frame rails for the Subaru. I did that all in this software as well. So if I go, let's see if I go back out.
Speaking of Subaru,
here's the Subaru. So this is the cage that I designed for the Subaru to give it a 4-seater cage, but you can see the frame rails in the back there. These pieces right here. Oh, let me go to parts. Sorry. These pieces right here are what I already created, the rear rails. And I had labeled a bunch of these and said what they were. So when I did that, I needed a 53-inch long piece, and then we had to do all the bends.
Wow.
And then you can even go to, there's a way in here that'll show you actually how to bend it in the machine. But yeah, it'll actually, oh man, if it wasn't such a pain to sit here and listen to me talk to myself as I try to talk myself how to do it, I would show you. But oh god, yes, you look at this and it shows these are all cut lists you can print out and send to like the dragon. There's a dragon tube bender cutter thing that Bentech makes now that does everything, and basically you can send these parts to it and it'll spit it out, bend it, laser cut the copes into it, and basically hand it to somebody at the end of the machine.
Dude, fabrication really, it blows my mind. It blows my mind.
Aaron Kaufman started up that shop down in Texas after he left was Gas Monkey, and he bought a machine to take and build frame rails and bend frame rails. So it takes a 3x6 piece of rectangle channel stock or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Calling it the wrong thing, and it basically tube draws it into a frame rail. You know what I mean? And this was years ago. That's what they were doing to stamp. They were stamping parts and frame rails essentially for those Crown Vic conversions for the Fords. You know, that they were doing for a while there.
Right.
And yeah, it was just a big deal.
Well, you know what's crazy? You think about this 20 years ago. You think about this 20 years ago, and you're like, nobody was doing this. We were throwing stuff away 20 years ago because we couldn't
Yeah, that was the real reason why I spent the money and bought the software, because I've watched, I mean, have you watched Fab Rats? You ever watch him at all?
Oh, yeah. I love him.
I love him, but you watch him do any tubing lately on that wrecker, and he has. I don't think he's gotten one hoop right on that wrecker. He's had to weld and sleeve.
Oh yeah. So all the metal is wasting.
Well, he's not even wasting it because he's like, fuck it, and he's cutting and sleeving and plugging and welding it back together, which is the right way. I mean, it's a right way.
Right.
The right way would be to do it the first time. He tries. It's just shit happens, and I'm with it. But my thing was with it, spending the time to do the software and then run it in the cab. I'm less likely to waste the metal. So a couple $100 for the software has saved me at least, in the couple years that I've had it, it's easily saved me a couple $100 and not ruining it.
Well, hell, the time alone, the time and the metal.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, once you find out all the different things it'll show you how to do on here, like the big thing that I like on the one where, if I can ever find it, where it shows you how to do the bend, it shows you the rotations you need to make and when.
Huh. Dude, I never even really, I kind of thought about that when he was doing that. I know he made some comments about, we'll use it somewhere, but you got to think, we spent the time to cut those and at the angle and put them in there.
Oh, yeah.
That's still, and those that turns an hour project into 2 hours real quick.
Well, but you got to figure, like, the time it took me to get all these pick points and dimensions to design this took a crap ton of time of its own too. You know what I mean? So it's one of those where I don't know that it necessarily saved me any time at all. It probably took more time, realistically. But I can see, the material cost, and then I can see where, okay, like there were many points where I was like, I measure and I go to do the thing, and I'm like, okay, that's not going to work because of whatever the reason is. You see things, and you're able to see it here before you've made the piece all the way, or you do it in real life, and then I have this bar that fits, but we can't use it now because of.
All right. Huh.
All right, so if I go parts detail,
cool.
Ooh.
I didn't. What a easy fellow.
Okay, easy. This is where. Okay, so now we are to the part. I don't know why that's all so big. Let's do task. No, part details. Where's the bend? All right, so this tells us what die we're going to use. That's useful. Oh, here you go. So this tells you your first bend location's at 11 inches, your second one's at 17, your third bend is at 28, and the last bend's at 4 inches. And that last bend is, all right, 36. That last bend is where we ran into issues because you come with a 90 and a 36 within pretty close of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up having to actually use a strap because you couldn't use the hook that goes around the piece of metal because the bends were too close to each other. So we had to get creative on. We took a 10,000 or a 5,000 pound strap and just wrapped it around like 6 times, and then put a clamp on it. I didn't film it because there was no one needed to see that.
Huh.
That was all back when we were in the old shop. There was
it's shit that you know how to do with a computer. Definitely makes me feel really old.
I have muddled through and figured out some. Do I wish to save this part? No.
I'm sure I can learn the program, but sitting down to do that, just like you said, it's not like you
and
don't.
That's what it took. It was a day when I was like, what are we going to waste our time on today? And that day was this program. And then it's been years since I played with it. And then to come back, I'm just like, So I kind of want to do some lives or some sort of thing where I can put this up on the screen, basically just like we're doing now. But I want to do a camera that points over at the rig so we can actually finish getting all the pick points done.
Right.
And I want to start doing some lives from the dungeon and stuff like that.
I don't like it. That was kind of cool coming in and seeing you. It's welding.
Yeah, the biggest problem I'm having, Chad, is the freaking time. Like I have a ton of it, but I'm always going in different directions. The thing is, I have a lot of time. I don't have much of a schedule, but that means I could be doing anything at any given day, which is its own thing. You know.
You sound like my buddy's dad when he retired. He said, I said, well, you're retired now, Jim. Like we can go out and do some shooting. Oh yeah, I'm ready, man. I go to shoot some matches. And then I said, well, Jim, you gonna come out and shoot? Oh man, I'm busy. Hell, I think I'm busier now since I'm retired than I am. He's always hanging out with his buddies and doing stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
I try to be up in the Gears and Wheels learning CAD. It's worth it. I enjoy learning the CAD. I wish there was some more SolidWorks type stuff in here. I'm having a hard time paying for like real software because there's a bunch of tabs and things I need to add. I think this software will do it, but I have to buy more capability. I don't know. I'm still figuring all that, but no, I try to stay riding as much as possible because I enjoy it.
Yeah, like Gears and Wheels said, learning CAD is worth it for sure.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to be building any type of vehicle.
If you're going to be doing something where the repeatability is the key, then yes. If you're building a one-off thing, like it's like the Fab Wraps guy we were talking about. He's got that ARC droid, and I get him because a lot of times he doesn't use it because he's like, I need to make this one thing, and it's going to take me longer to design it than it will to just make it. And if you're doing one thing, that's fine. But like I plan on, if I can bulletproof these frames decently enough and make this work, if I can make some decent money off of doing this with one, I'll build another one. You know what I mean? Because if I can bulletproof the frame and then get a totaled one and rebuild it as a WTF Productions, model essentially, and make a few bucks on the deal, oh yeah.
No, that seems like a pretty solid deal.
Well, we'll see. At this point, it's I got to figure out something to.
I feel like there's plenty of Subaru people out there that would be like, "Hey, man, I'll buy that. I'll buy some."
Oh, the Subaru. You're talking. Oh, that's right, because I have this one on the screen.
But the side by side shit is the hottest market. I mean, like, there's no doubt. If you can design pieces and make them, and people eat that shit up. Here's the deal. Here's one I'll tell you. My buddy but he doesn't have this CAD drawing, but he started making steel target stands, and his business blew up, and he doesn't ship. Keep in mind, he only sells locally, and basically, with you can get people people drive here to pick up his shit now because it's such a good deal that he's like, I'm not shipping because it ruins the cost. And he was like, I don't want to fucking deal with that. But people literally, like, people train to get his target stands now. Like, be like, hey, you going to Des Moines? I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'll meet you in Kansas City. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're training to get shit. But and if you could get into something like that where you're setting up just small stuff and starting into this, you don't have to ship it.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the other trick. I got to figure out. Yeah, if I'm going to do frames like that, it's all freight. So at that point, it's.
Oh, dude, it's stupid expensive.
If you're doing just frames, it's freight there. If you're doing whole rigs, at that point, I'm just gonna put them on Facebook or Marketplace or wherever.
Hey, there's a guy here that's doing snowplows for skid loaders in Minnesota, and people drive to go get his shit.
Yeah. Well, and I've seen so some of these ones. I saw one in Utah that was a side by side that it was yard sailed, man. I mean, pieces just everywhere. Like there's parts in the back seat. It was rough, but it had the computer, the harness, the major components were there. It went for $4,300.
Wow.
Which it wasn't a running, driving, model. It probably ran and drove, but you didn't get that. But still, only $4,300 for essentially, we'll call it 40% of the rig. Because you got to remember, these things used are going with nothing on them, just base models, no extras or upgraded frame or anything like that, are going for $30,000 on 2-3-year-old.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, you can definitely, surely you could, if you can do what you're doing, where you could build a frame and say, look, here's your frame. You can put whatever engine on there. I mean, what's the difference putting in? I mean, they put the Ecotechs and the slingshots. I mean, They're really no
Yeah.
bigger than some of these engines. Like you can go
I
buy
guess
4-cylinder engines
at
out of
that
cars.
point, the reinventing of the wheel becomes a bit of a, you know what I mean? Because it's already designed as a power plant and suspension goes with this rig. I have not ridden in another rig that does power to fun to suspension. It just eats up crazy things that I put it through. And I'm just like, wow, I like my back should be killing me right now, and it's not. Or, you know what I mean? So it's definitely one of those where the frames are the weak links in the system. And after having one in front of me and like studying it, it's crazy. They build this thing, Chad. It's completely built in a jig, welded together by robots, but they put it all together. All the tubes are laser cut with male and female tabs. And so the entire frame like clip locks together in the jig, and then it's held down by the clamps on the jig. And every tab or panel or piece that comes off the round tube is riveted onto the round tube in the jig, and then it's welded out, and the rivets are still there.
Wow.
Like it's kind of cool. You can kind of see how they like stand. You can see how they make these frames so cheap and just pump them out.
And that's how they're able to pop them out though and make the money.
Yep, exactly how they're able to do it. And it's a thin deal, but like I said, at the end of the day, you don't need a lot of horsepower to be fast if you're light.
Oh no.
So
well, that's what I'm saying. Like
kind of,
you can put a junkyard engine out of there for junkyard engine transmission can't weigh much less or more than most of these motors are. So 800 or even just a motorcycle engine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean that what's his name?
It's a Rotax 3-cylinder is what they have in them, and then mine has the turbo on it as well.
And they're what are they making? 150 horse?
Mine is 170 something, I believe, for my model. That year, the highest model you could get was 195. Now they go up to like 205, I think.
Unbelievable.
Like
I mean,
listen, I was like, you don't need that kind of power, blah blah blah. And then I rode it the first time. I don't know if you go back and watch the first video when I actually drive it the first time. I'm just like, oh no! Like I was just like, no one can drive this but me. Like that is what's going through my mind. Like in that moment when I hit it, it like really shows me how fast it is, and I'm just like, what have I done? Like,
the first one I ever drove was I think the one I drove was a 900. Like, and I got in that thing, and I know exactly what you're talking about because I got in there, and my
gears, I'm sure,
they're 100% addicting. I mean, I was ready to sell my kidneys.
Hell yeah!
And then I was like, I'm gonna get one of these, and I'm just launching this thing. I used to be really reckless when I was on a dirt bike, and I have some bad. I've got some history of destroying 4-wheelers, and I lose my mind.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm invincible on one of those things. Which now I'm older, I probably don't. I probably would be like, oh, I can't do that. That's scary. But I ain't been on one for a while now. But back then,
got in this thing, and I've been pushing it right up to the ragged edge.
Oh yeah.
Literally.
All it takes is a little bit of courage every time. Once you make one thing, it just sets you up to go bigger and go harder.
I bought this thing in July, Chad, and I have destroyed 2 sets of tires. I have completely destroyed 2 sets of the stock. What are they? Bighorns. The back tires are just spinning all of the time, and I'm like, I know that I could make things last longer and make them not break if I didn't slide every corner and have a great time, but that's just not any fun.
First time I felt like my heart was in my throat. Exactly. That's how it should feel, right?
Seriously.
Yeah.
So I got over the jumping thing with Raptors. I was big into jumping with Raptors, and I'm past that. I have no desire to make this thing fly.
Right. So what do you like doing? Climbing hills or
drifting? Gymkhana,
really?
Rally car stage type stuff is what
I
enjoy.
Oh.
That's the part I like that we do when we're riding. Oh, we get a lot of everything, but my personal favorite is the ones where I am just letting it hang out, like
Put
dipping
the
a
back
tire
wheel over the edge of the cliff.
Yes, I've got a couple of spots for. When I said ragged edge, I wasn't kidding. Like literally to the
Right.
edge.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
mind that.
It's
I'm
one
not
of those
big
where
jumping.
you've got to make sure everyone in the car is okay with getting really close to the edge or closing their mind, closing their eyes, because you know, like my mom. There's a couple of videos I've done with my mom, and she is not a fan. Like the first really good one, I was like, okay, you ready to party at the top of the hill? She's like, okay. And I started getting it. She's like, I'm not ready to party. I'm not ready to party.
Yeah, it's definitely a different feeling. When I had my 4-wheeler, I love doing that too, coming up and just rounding the corners, just letting it eat. But a dirt bike is a little bit different deal. It's a little bit
Oh yeah.
different sensation. But I know what you're saying with that. I've never gotten to that stage where you're at, where you're really. But I could see, especially with a car like your Subaru, where that would definitely make you go, "Hey, look, I can do this with this thing, and I don't have to put near as much time and effort into it." Until
Well, no, like so the problem with the Subaru is that the Subaru is a me project. It's going to be me
Right.
and maybe one other friend that we go play in it. This thing, I mean, you see in the videos, the kid, the wife and the kid, whoever's
Yeah,
in town,
oh
it's
yeah,
a 4-seater. Everyone's in for the. I mean, the video that came out today. I mean,
family
half
fun
the
too.
videos that come out recently are my kid saying some smart ass thing in the back seat. What I mean? It's just, he cracks me up sometimes. I think today's one was I'm not the most confident tomato in the box or something
Huh,
like that. I think
I
is what he
didn't see
said
that
on
one
today's
today.
video. We're on the side of I thought I could get somewhere as an old trail, and we ended up doing it in the dark. Tim made a great point. He's like, I don't like the nighttime videos. You can't really see. And I was like, I kind of agree with you. The video part of it sucks, but the actual doing it's pretty awesome.
Right.
Like that's the other thing I've been running into. I roll camera on every ride. You guys don't actually get to
Oh
see
yeah.
every single ride because some rides are just the audio's too scuffed or
Well,
whatever the
you
problem
never know
is.
what's gonna catch, and if you're out doing that, like you could actually pull some badass footage, and
That's what I'm
really
trying.
right.
I've 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 been trying to collect a Gymkhana style, and this was before Ken passed, course essentially. Like I find a turn in one place in the woods, and I'm like, ooh, that's a good turn to add to the list. You know what I mean? And then
Right.
try and make a run look like a Gymkhana run in the dirt, essentially.
There's a place here which last year at the end of the season, I know the guys were bragging about it. So we ride the creeks, obviously here because we don't have the mountains, but we ride the creeks. But there's a river. The creek comes into a river here, and there's this huge bed with some like loamy, sandy berms.
Oh yeah,
And they're really perfect for you to come you come up to them and then you just hook it, and kick it
yeah.
out at the
I
top.
love I love good bowls and berms and stuff.
Yeah, this place is like so when it's obviously the riverbed has to be dry, but like I
Yeah.
sat there last year and watched my cousins and shit do it for hours and to the point to where I was like, why am I sitting here? Like, why don't I just get out there? Why don't I sell all my tools, sell all my other garbage, sell all my guns,
Well,
and buy
that's what
one
I
of
keep
these?
looking at too. Is like I keep looking at land out in the middle of nowhere, going.
Oh, dude, isn't that
And I
just
keep so
crazy? How far you're willing to take an addiction?
listen. There are some properties out here. So I don't know. Are you familiar with corner locking? You ever heard of that?
Huh?
So corner locking is a thing they started out here, where they essentially make it to where you can't get to your property without going through some sort of government property, i.e.,
What?
BLM, Josephine County, forestry, and it essentially stops you from developing everything and turning it into Southern California, the East Coast, wherever. Um, and I know they do it in Oregon. I don't know if they've done do it in other states or not.
No, not here. That's not
Uh,
that isn't a thing. Well, all the land's pretty much bought up here right now.
Well,
Fucking
that's what they are basically making it to where you can't do
yeah.
here.
Yeah,
Which I'm for and not for all at the same time, because I do like having, all of these beautiful places to go
Right.
ride. And obviously, if people keep developing them, they're never going to stay that way. So, you know what I mean? It's definitely double edged. But then I see people who buy properties, and there's these roads go through some of these properties, and then they're like, "Well, I bought this, so I'm ending this road." I'm like, "Well, but now there's no way for me to get over there."
Right.
So I'm definitely on both sides of this.
So my buddy bought a piece of land that was backed up to some BLM land in Colorado years
Yep.
ago, and it was basically fronted up to it. And supposedly he could hunt, ride, do everything. So that's kind of
So
like
yeah, the BLM land, if you have access into it, like there, because a lot of time the lands will have gates. They'll be seasonal. Like most of the time, the gate's either open or it's closed. It'll say seasonal, but it's always closed if it's closed. But they're supposed to open them for like hunting season and that type of
that.
stuff, but it never
Yeah,
happens.
like there's certain times where he can take his Jeep out there. He's a 4-wheeler guy, and he can take his Jeep there, and he can like drive. I think he bought 12 acres, south of Denver, in between Colorado Springs or something. But he's got, so it's 22,000 acres of BLM land behind him, and I'm like, and he said, dude, there's another plot next to me at the time. You should buy this, and guess how much he paid for him?
60 grand.
$4,000.
That's even less than I thought.
Yeah, for 12 acres, that basically gives you access to 22,000. So, I mean, granted, it's not your land, but guess what? You don't have to pay tax on it. You already do pay taxes.
Well,
but
you do have to have taxes on it, but this is where it gets a little funky with those lands too. Because if it's a timber property, then that's figured out a whole different way, because the taxes. My CPA this year said, because I was talking about maybe looking to buy one of these things, because there was one. It's 20 acres up on the hill, or no, was it 40 acres? No, this is 40 acres up on the hill. They're at 99K right now for 40 acres of timberland just up in the middle of nowhere. But it's zoned forest commercial, so you can put a residence up there, but you can't like have it be your primary residence, I guess. I gotta look some more into that.
They won't let you put in like sewer and water, probably.
Well, there's no. That's the thing. You're in the middle of nowhere. Like there's no anything up there. It's completely off grid.
Well, and
you'd have to do your own well or water collection of some sort. You'd have to do some sort of power generation,
right?
And you would have to do some sort, and you would never get any permitting. Well, I can't say never. Your likelihood of getting permitting saying that all that is kosher for you to do is not very likely.
Sounds like perfect off-grid land.
Oh, it is. Oh, I could take you to 6 different places right up the road that I've known people that used to live and may still be living in some of these places. And then since the advent of satellite technology, I found places that were right next to places I've been a million times. And I'm like, there's a place there, a house with a pond that I never knew was there. I've driven by that in the woods up there millions of times, and that's been there forever.
Oh yeah, my buddy's got an off-the-grid place, and I'll tell you what, he's got the internet, he's got everything.
Yeah.
Well,
so I haven't told you about this. So I got the old Starlink at my place across the street where I live. And so it broke after less than a month and a half, I think it was. December 30th, the Friday, it broke. And I didn't get a new one until Monday the 30th. I didn't hear anything from StarNet, Link, Burst, Fleet, Command, whatever the hell they are, because they're what I've come to find out is they're a division of SpaceX.
Oh yeah,
and there's no customer service. You cannot get a hold of anyone. There's no phone number for StarNet. Nothing. You submit a trouble. You submit a trouble ticket like an IT request, and then somebody gets back to you.
You gotta hope and pray.
Chad, I went through all the emotions, multiple tickets, very angry, closed tickets, finally got a ticket open that figured out what I was doing. And then started after a week or two of no one talking to me to start doing captain's logs. Um,
Captain's
dude, I swear to God,
I'm gonna
dude, I
sue
gotta read
Elon
this.
Musk.
I'm gonna make fucking. Oh no, even better. I'm gonna make dudes do the voiceover for these. This is the sneak peek right here.
That's gonna be awesome. Captain's log.
Oh God, it's gonna be so good.
Oh, that is freaking awesome.
Where's the pictures? I took pictures.
I think the problem is with that internet is it's definitely good, but like you just described,
Oh well,
it's
now the internet when it's working is better than anything I can get here because I'm across the street in the dungeon at my parents' house, and they have 30 meg. That is that's 30 meg down and less than 1 meg up.
whoa.
It took me all day to upload a video over here.
Oh, that's not good. 1 meg up
And
is
that is the best internet you can get where I live.
Jesus. That's like worse than my cell phone.
It's funny you say that because it is 100% worse than my cell phone, but it's at least unlimited over here, whereas my cell phone is limited on its how much I'm allowed to get, which is the same thing I run into with StarNet. But the two terabytes is a lot. So anyhow, so this is how it goes. I said I'm just posting this on this ticket to keep it going at this point. Maybe someone will read this and I'll do it something like a captain's log. So it says Friday the 13th, January 2023, day 15 with no internet. Only 5 more days until we pay for another month of service we can't use because of faulty equipment. Things are definitely degrading around here. The crew's become restless and has used all but the last drop of phone data. It would appear that turning off DirecTV after getting Starlink was a mistake. Hopefully someone from Star Command Fleet Tech will get back to us one day.
Wow.
And I continued to do this every 2 days for almost a week and a half.
Unbelievable.
Until someone finally called me from StarNet Command. And apparently they don't actually call you ever, really. They just talk to you over this tech fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Maybe she was bullshitting me, but and she's like, it was so funny I had to call you and get this handled for you.
Oh my God.
So they literally took care of me and sent me a new one, which I have a new one, but now I have a new trouble ticket in because my problem was the dish said it can't connect to the server, or not the server, the router couldn't connect to the dish. And the router is wired directly to the dish. And so that was the problem.
Oh shit.
So they sent me a whole new thing, and I'm like, so the problem here is I can't put the mast down because I can't connect. It won't stow. And she's like, okay, well, it's no problem. I'll send you the link on how to stow it, and then you just do that and send it back when you get the new one. Well, fair enough. That seems easy enough. And of course, I didn't look at that until like Monday when the thing got here. And you know what it says? It tells me to plug it in, the thing that doesn't connect, plug it in, and then it will just go down on its own if I put it flat on the table for like a minute or two. So guess what? It doesn't work when it won't connect. So I can't put it in the box to send it to them. I'm like, what? So I had to open another trouble ticket. And I wait, God knows how long, for them to tell me, oh, well, I don't know. Because I bet that they're going to say at that point is, well, don't even worry about it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, the customer service is, I mean, when I actually talked to a real person, she was great. And I know what the problem is. It's her and maybe 2 other people that live in their own house somewhere that are working from home, and they're dealing with the entire customer service department of,
the entire world.
Yeah, exactly. And so she was very nice, and I could, you know what I mean? It's not, I don't think she did a bad job or anything, you know what I mean? She was great. I even told her, like, I'm a YouTuber. We're making YouTube stuff about this. Gave her the channel. Maybe she's watching right now. You are awesome if you are. But they are underfunded, undermanned, and just given a shit about.
Is it actually making money, do you think?
Say what now?
Do you think it's making money?
No, especially not seeing as how he didn't get the money from the government for infrastructure upgrades. Let's see. Best internet I got so far is a hotspot for my phone. That's what I was literally doing, Gears.
Yeah, I
This
just
is
checked my hotspot, or I checked my service. So mine's 30 down and 5 up.
seriously, like I can upload videos better on my phone, but it eats through my data for my hotspot, and cause I'm limited to 40 gigs of hotspot for mine with AT&T, and that's what a problem you don't think about until you live in a mountainous region. Is it really matters whose cell phone service you have depending on where you live, and so AT&T is the tower that's right at the end of my valley, and that has the best service for where I currently am. But like I went and looked at a piece of property on the other side of the hill, 20 acres, just past civilization, for 160,000 cash only because it's a total mess. The ad literally says all this stuff that's in the pictures, we don't own it. We're not giving it any cash value. We can't say anything about where it came from, but it comes with the property.
Mhm.
Basically, your problem. It was a pot grow that went south, and I'm sure the owner got screwed somehow of the property, but they left and left everything on it. There's a cabin, like a 28-foot cabin cruiser on the property that's like on blocks. It looks like somebody was just
You already got
lit.
a limit. You already got Noah's Ark there.
Oh, there's a creek that goes through the property too that they built a road across. That I'm just like, I don't know that you're allowed to. I know you didn't get a permit for that. Oh, that's the thing. So the pot industry here is wild. It's crazy. Verizon was the closest tower before. I only had one bar with AT&T. Oof. Yeah.
They
So in the dungeon right now, I get one bar with AT&T, but in the valley, it's very line of sight. If I can get up on one of the hills around here and look at the big mountain that has the tower, I'm golden. But you get in these little, I guess, like the holla or whatever, these little valleys back up in, you know what I mean? You get back in these little spots back in here, and I'll have service here and then go up the road, and I got nothing.
what's your internet speed with your Starlink now?
Starnet, I'll get anywhere from the worst I've ever seen it, like peak day or whatever the excuse is going to be. The worst I've ever seen is 60 down, and probably like the up is pretty similar all of the time. I've never checked it when the down was slow, but the best I've gotten around there is about 6, 5, somewhere in there
That's the
on
best
up.
you get on the up.
Yeah, it's not the up. I mean, up is always underrated for all these things, man. But
Wow.
I mean, it's way better. Up is better than my phone. I can tell you that.
Man, here you want to. I don't want to like brag, but my
Oh, don't worry, dudes brags to me all of the time about how any internet is better than my internet. I'm like, I know, dude.
well, this new fiber internet that I got is,
Oh,
dude, it's unbelievable. Like, listen, I'm not, listen, I you if we could, there's no way you can send it to me, but I can literally upload a 4K video in less than 5 minutes, and
oh, Jesus.
20
I
minutes
listen.
long.
So when I was in New Orleans, I had the same thing. I had AT&T Fiber Link or Fiber Up or Fiber something. I don't know, but that stuff was just the best.
Dude,
Like,
I'm 500 down, 500 up, easy
oh,
at
God.
minimum.
Yeah, I miss it. That was amazing. But you
That's
know what? I wouldn't trade that internet
for your
for this place any day. I would. There's no way. No, I
that
wouldn't. No, wouldn't go back to that trailer down by the
that's what
river.
I'm fighting if I want to move somewhere. That's what I'm
Yeah.
fighting is like, man, this is the trade-off that you got to get when you want to live rural right now. But I feel
Well,
like
and
in
so
5 years, this isn't going to be a problem.
what do you
You
mean?
know?
Why wouldn't this be a problem?
No, like none of the internet issues are going to be a problem because they're working on it.
Oh no. Well, it depends where I'm at. No, it's totally gonna be a problem. I'll put it this way: they ran fiber optic all the way to vaults that are stationed everywhere that they need to be stationed in order to run from the vault to all the houses on the copper and still keep them at the minimum requirement to get the grant they needed to pay for the upgrades to run the fiber to where they did. That's all it
Mhm.
is. They don't do anything until the government says, "Hey, if you do this much infrastructure work in these areas, And then they say those areas because that's the constituents of the representatives that are being paid off or campaigning. I mean, to get whatever. And so they say, hey, you have to spend this much money on infrastructure in this district, and then they do what they do. So that says this percentage of people need to be bumped up to this percentage of internet capability. I think is how it's some sort of equation like that. And they've dumped the minimum they need to, and they'll move on because there's people that don't have anywhere near the amount of internet that I do. My problem across the street was that they refused to bring the phone line from the road across the bridge and into where I live, which is a new piece of property that my dad developed.
Wow.
But so they had this deal where $300 they'd install that cable for you, and it was normally going to be a good deal for everyone. And when they said $300 to come as far as they needed to do and do what they needed to do, I signed up as soon as I could because I was like, I can't even do it for that.
Right.
So I signed into a contract saying that I would pay them $300, like they were getting over on me. And then they literally just kept putting it off, never showed. The guy would call me, be like, did they get a hold? Did anyone come to look at digging that? And I'd be, nope. And then I would call them bitch. And I got to the point where they weren't even going to pay me I wasn't even going to have to pay them anymore to do it because it was so messed up. And then they finally, after like 9 months or 7 months or whatever it was, they emailed me and said, hey, yeah, we're just never going to work together ever again. Don't contact us.
Don't worry about it. We're going to write you off.
Yeah, you're gone.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Sorry, Gears. I'm walking around the shop. I got my headphones let me walk around. My back me. We need to do it. Let's get caught up here.
I agree about
bad internet. I see, and that's the thing. I can go out my front door, make a left or a right in my side by side, and go.
Right.
I could ride CP until I run out of gas, and I have not checked to see how far I can go, but I know it's hundreds of miles I can put on that thing with a tank.
The trade off, the upsides are definitely more. I mean, obviously, suffering from internet just means you got to plan more, do uploads, upload while you're going to sleep.
Well, so as long as I mean, figure I'm putting 3 long form videos out a week. So as long as I put 1 video up a day, if that's my best case, because you know me, I'm always ahead.
Right.
It's a lot. I'm closer than I've ever been. I got down to a week and a half. I had a week and a half of content loaded, ready to go. And
right.
I'm like, shit, I need to like edit. And
right.
so I was doing at least 6 videos a week, long form editing there for a little bit, and then like life on top of that. It's one of those where shorts have done great and the channel's at an all-time high for subscribers, but it's like you always said, if no one's watching, none of it matters.
Yep.
So it's I'm enjoying making the content.
Right.
So at the end of the day, that's always what it's been about. I was going to do all of the projects I've ever done. The only difference is now I brought people along for the ride, and I'm going to continue to do that as long as.
Hey, adding more people is never a bad thing. Sometimes, as long as it's, long as it's long as it's okay. That's all there is to it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if everybody gets along, then that's cool. But when you got that person that doesn't want to be on camera, that's where trouble starts. That's my problem. Every shop I go to, I got a guy that's like, "Don't you put me on camera."
Oh yeah. No. Well, and that's the other thing, being able to run things in your own environment. So that's the biggest problem I have going here is the hours that I have to keep to run. So this is my dad's world, and he does whatever the hell he wants. Because it's his world. He should be able to do whatever the hell he wants. I 100% go with that, but it limits what I can do when he wants to play his music and work in his shop. And I feel bad when I need to film, like when I actually need to like film something. Like I really need to film this. Can you turn off the music for a little bit? I try to do it as quickly as I can. But you know what I mean? That's just a pain in the ass for him and pain in the ass for me,
Yeah. Whenever you're filming and you have to ask somebody to turn off the music, it's like you're interrupting.
I hate to ask it too. Yeah, no, I get it. I really do.
Right.
but unfortunately, this is a thing that helps me do the things that I get to do.
Right.
Yes, YouTube doesn't make sense anymore. I now just post
Oh,
it as
dude,
my hobby.
YouTube is so
Listen,
well. So here's a fun thing.
well, it
Here's a
depends on
fun
what you're
thing.
trying to do.
The whole pew pew stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm very pro pew pew, but the thing about it
Yep.
is that I started to learn why YouTube is doing the things that they're doing, and it's
Yep.
because they're worldwide and global. These different countries are like, we're going to ban YouTube if you
Oh
allow
yeah.
this stuff. And so, what's the trade off here? Well, you're talking about millions, not a couple thousand, millions of subscribers disappearing. Like, because there's
There
a
is
lot of people from foreign
so
countries watch American YouTubers.
Oh yeah, I can
You
show
know,
you through all of my analytics that the majority of where my channel's growth has been overseas markets through the shorts deal. You know what I mean?
yep. Well, I mean, so
The little
so
little dozer stuff is apparently real popular overseas.
right. Well, the the deal is though, I mean, like when you start to put that into perspective, it's like, I like it? No. Do I agree with it? No, because we're in USA and it's like, I feel like, we should just go by our rules. But when you start looking on a global, it really kind of stretches you out. Like, okay, so they don't want people cussing. I mean they're regulating it from a global standpoint now, and that's what's screwing everybody the hardest. I don't know whether it's right or wrong.
Well, I mean, it comes down to like we've always talked about with any of it. It depends what you're getting into YouTube for. It's just like we were just saying here. Gears is saying if you're not doing it, if you're doing it as a job, if YouTube is going to be your job, man, that's a hard business.
Yeah, that's a hard business
It,
to sell.
it is a hard business. And then most of the people that are in the game and killing it, YouTube's not really their business. YouTube's
No.
more of their marketing. If you look at YouTube as a marketing tool, and you
Yep.
can spin it to fund a hobby,
Yep.
whatever it is your hobby is. If you can fund your hobby, and then I'm air quoting here. Let me see
Did I tell you
air
that I
quotes
found out
here.
what some of these guys are making, like YouTube, like exactly what you just said, that YouTube, I was blown away. If you think you go to Social Blade and look at somebody's how much money they make,
Oh my god, that
and
number is
so
so funny.
basically, this is no joke. So I'm going to put this in perspective for you. So somebody like Cletus has, a couple million subscribers,
Oh yeah.
but but the money he makes on selling product is almost 4 or 5 times what he makes on YouTube.
Oh yeah. The only
That
way
is
he's able to buy
insane.
helicopters and tanks and all of the
Dude,
other things, because you notice you don't really see the really big things he's buying. Like he bought that big house next to the track, which is cool, but he doesn't really flaunt. Like no one ever. I feel like he really moved past that. And then you're
well,
like the Freedom Factory, and you're like, oh, he did that another way. And like he hasn't shown you the multiple helicopters he owns. Like he owns at least or has owned multiple helicopters. He
oh
just
yeah,
bought Sparks' old helicopter, the that red one that Dave Sparks had.
yep. You
He just,
definitely people don't really realize how much money he's got. I mean, like the fact of the matter is that he went out and spent, that when he bought all those guys RC cars and those planes and all
oh
that shit,
yeah,
the money he spent on that was like his pocket change.
yeah.
I mean, this guy is, I mean,
Well,
and
no, but
listen, I'm not jealous of him or mad
he
at him.
learned a bunch in. He was like doing lawyer stuff before this. I mean, it's no secret.
Yep.
And I don't believe he was doing lawyer things as in like criminal law. I believe it was business stuff, business law, that type of stuff. All
Hmm.
things that I believe he's, and I agree with me, I'm completely speaking out of my ass here on this. I don't know any of this for truth. But he's done some very smart moves, and
Oh
he's
yeah.
also talked to very smart people before he does these moves. Like,
Right.
he owns and does all the printing stuff now, right?
Yep.
Like, he bought
Oh
that
yeah. He's got that
company.
whole building. He does it. Yep.
Okay, so you notice who he went to go hang out with before he did that?
Um,
because you don't know exactly when he bought and acquired the
Oh, you mean
printing.
Demolition Ranch when he's got one with bunch of,
Hey, he
yeah,
went
oh, yeah.
over and did some shooting videos with Demo Ranch, and then got Demo Ranch into coming to the Cletus
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
then next thing you know, he's got his own. And then that's when you start noticing the merch side of his thing change a little bit. And I was like, maybe it's coincidence, but I'm just like the timing, and I'm with it. I like if I was a YouTuber and had the ability to talk to Matt and like was about to start doing something of that nature myself, and he was willing to be like, yeah, I'll tell you how we fucking do it. Why not? He's damn right I'm taking advantage of that resource.
well, you want to know what's really so? Like, I found out that Project Farm's Amazon account. I
Okay.
found it out through a big YouTuber that's kind of hooked up in that, and his Amazon account is like all of his Amazon links that he puts in. He clears over $1 million a year just on Amazon.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, like he is destroying Amazon with, and so people, like, I'm not trying to talk bad because I don't really want to get that out there, but I will say that it makes me wonder of his videos when he promotes some of the stuff that he promotes that's always top this or that is an Amazon one. Because when he gets done with a video, it just wrecks Amazon. It,
Yeah.
it just wrecks Amazon. Like he just blows them out. And that, which obviously there's some Harbor Freight stuff in there too, but I just can't fathom it. So just think about it this way: if Cletus was actually doing Amazon links too, how much money he would bring in on top of that.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. Maybe he's not. He's also running into the problem, and he talks about this in somebody did an article or an interview with him when he was still over with Faster Palms and all them. So he's making so much money that things have to be written off in ways. Like
Oh
he
yeah,
did you see the Roman Atwood podcast he did where he talks about when he bought the Freedom Factory, he also had to pay his taxes because when you start making that kind of money, you have to pay taxes like quarterly, and
yeah,
like
quarterly, yep.
there's a shit ton of them,
Oh yeah,
and it was like
miserable.
$1 million check that bounced. Yeah, and he said that it worked out and it was fine. You know, he was able to work it out, but it was just like fuck me,
Could you
bro.
imagine
You just
though the headache?
you just stroked the government $1 million check,
Right.
and then it fucking bounced, bud.
Could you imagine the headache though from having that much money? I mean, people think it would be fun
Um,
to have that kind of money, but the team that he's got behind him. I've thought about this. The
yeah.
team
See,
that
that's
he's
the
got
trick.
behind him is, I mean, like, what if you have the wrong people though? So let's say you
He
have an
does it.
accountant that
He
screws
doesn't.
you. I mean, they do that all the time with people. Accountants screw people all the time.
I have to believe that Cletus does. I don't know. I feel like he's controlling a lot of his own finances, or somebody with him is taking very good care of the finances because just running the multiple businesses that are part under the umbrella of that brand is a
Maybe his
major
parents are.
undertaking. So yeah, it could be one. I don't know. I mean, his dad and mom are well off. I mean, they were not
Right, but you
of
never hear nothing about them,
poverty.
and he never really says much about them. But
They're
they
in the videos. They're here and
they
there,
could be
and
running the whole business. And
they could be. I don't know. You know what? And you know what? If he doesn't want to share his that backstory, that's up to him, man. I mean, that's
yeah,
like
yeah, well, yeah,
I talked
yes,
to Matt's dad, and does
yeah. Matt's dad, doctor, what's his name,
yeah.
doctor something. He's pretty cool.
Um.
Good, the
Oh
good.
yeah, the one brother that passed away. Damn. Yeah, because you are down there in that area. I will say I like Matt character. Character.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn it, I can't say his last name right. I don't have any problem with that. I've watched a lot of the off the ranch stuff that he does around building that house up on the hill. I thought that was a cool series. But outside of that, that was about the only reason I was there. For every now and then, some of the car stuff is cool, but to some extent, I'm just like, okay, you're just
Yeah, I get it.
kind of
He's kind
doing
of
your thing.
he's kind of selling. He kind of does a little bit of salesman stuff once in a while. That
He doesn't take himself too seriously in anything, and I like that.
right,
You know what I mean? He's willing to do some dumb fun stuff, and he's willing to do he takes care of business. You know
right.
what I mean? I dig it.
Oh, I
But
appreciate all these guys that make. You know what? They've earned it. They did their thing, and I'm not jealous or angry at them, any of them, for what they've done. You know, it's just
yeah,
interesting to me when my mind wasn't wrapped around the perspective when I started talking to this person I was talking to, and they're like, you know, they get paid $20,000-$30,000 for those ads they do for AG1, and
yeah,
well, what happened is I got in a conversation about Dave Sparks and the entitled. Did you see that
yeah, yeah.
video?
Yeah, I saw the one where you went over there and actually like went over there, which
Talk
I
about.
didn't look into anything else after that. I don't know, did
Uh,
that because after watching that video, did they double down on that it isn't a
they
scam?
doubled down that it is real, and I was like, "You guys are
Well,
idiots.
it is real, but it isn't
It's a
real.
scam." Dude, if you
I
did
mean,
you
yes,
watch the part of
there's
the
a real,
video where the
there's a
guy was from
real,
Scotland on the train and he
yes,
was literally telling him like
yes,
buy
that it's not.
like buying a star.
Yes, it's like buying a star. And but then they go and they show you, hey, well, this is what you're really buying. You're buying this piece of land. So those are forestry tracts essentially. And
Hmm.
that's what I was just talking to you here. That forestry tract up on the hill there's a bunch of places that are owned by timber companies, and they are basically logged and replanted every whatever it is, and it's a cycle. It's like any other crop, just on a longer gestation, I guess.
But if you
Um,
wanted to go over there and claim your piece of land, like say, hey, this square foot is mine, they would
yes,
not recognize you, and you would actually they could actually
no.
take you to jail. I mean, none of it's actually legit because you never
Um,
signed any deed. Your name isn't on a deed.
well, so here's the trick with that, and that's what they said in the video. They're setting up the land in conservatorships essentially, to where no one can ever log or do anything with that land ever again,
Right.
and so there'll be no one stopping you from coming there and standing on your 1 foot by 1 foot.
I guarantee you,
Essentially,
if everybody that owned a piece of that came over there and did that at one time, there would be a little bit of a pushback.
um, well, I mean, if you set that all up, that actually would be kind of a cool thing to go watch.
Yeah, it would be funny.
That would actually be totally. I think that might actually be a good PR stunt for it. So it's one of those things where it's literally some people are taking it a little too seriously, I guess.
Right.
It's one of those things that's like I like buying a star because it's a very similar. If you're gonna call, are you calling? So you're calling buying a star a scam? Is that what we're calling that then?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, honestly,
Uh,
like, I mean, it's a novelty item for rich people, I
it's a
guess.
novel. It's a novelty item for rich people. Exactly. That's kind of where I was going with this for that because it's not really a scam. You know what you're buying when you're buying a fucking star. I mean, you're getting some scientific fucking fancy paper on the wall that could be bullshit, could not be, but no one's really gonna fucking. There's no reason to fight you over it. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh,
Turn down a
it,
30K sponsorship, dude.
it's only a little bit better than like roses or some shit on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, you're not wrong there neither. I mean,
Uh,
there's
you
obviously
know,
lots of
so
things you can waste your money on that probably are worse, like going
but
out
that's
and
not what I'm
buying
saying. The problem with
drugs.
that video from Dave Sparks was at the end of it, I'm kind of confused what you're saying here because, like you said, they touched on the very real points of it. You can't actually go, and you're not really a fucking lord.
Right.
But then they're like, but you are saving some trees, and this cool spot that you could come over here and hang will always be here for you to come over and hang until you die, and then it'll revert back to somebody. And once everyone dies or gets bought out, they could actually
The
sell it.
best way they could have done that video was basically go, look, the guys, the land's real. Yes,
Yeah,
you're not a lord. No, you don't really own this piece of land, but we recognize that you do support this project. You know,
yeah, but they didn't really come out and say that. They just kind of like
right,
alluded and showed that
right.
portion of it.
And that's,
So
but dude,
it
read the
was
comment section. The comment
ah
section just fucking
see
destroys him.
that's where you get wrong. You read the comment section. I stay out of the
Dude,
comment.
there's
It's
like
a cesspool.
20,000 comments. And dude,
Oh,
he
I'm
lost a bunch
sure.
of subscribers too. Not even joking you.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh,
He
they took
lost
a bunch
like
of time off after
200,000
that.
subscribers. His
Yeah, they
his
took a bunch of
account took
time
a
off.
huge hit. Like, people like
Um,
tell me how you can like ruin your YouTube page quicker than anything by doing it. It's one of those things though. I mean, that's exactly the problem. That's the problem I have all the time. Whenever you try to defend yourself to people, they always find a way to turn it around on you.
Here's my problem with, well, yeah, you're never gonna. That comes back to you're not gonna please everyone all the time too.
No.
So, I don't know. At some point, I don't know. Gears,
Well,
30K.
pull down
The
here.
problem is 30K for making up a video. See, I don't know.
Would you do it?
I'd like to say that my word is. I'm not hurting for 30 grand in the way that I'm just like I would sell my fucking
soul to the devil.
No, you're not selling your soul to the devil. I mean realistically you sold your soul a long time. I think Maynard does a song like I sold my soul before you ever even heard my name, you know, and I mean we've all sold our souls at some point for whatever the thing is to an extent.
Yeah, sold our time.
But at the end of the day, I have my thing I'm known for is I'm pretty much going to tell you how I think it is, and I may be wrong or I may be right. That's neither here nor there in that, but I'm going to tell you what I think is right at the time when I say it. The other trick to that is I'm pretty good about saying, okay, you know what, I was wrong about that.
I should do a video on all the ones that I turned down, but so I have Dream Power Studios. They offered me $5,000. I've turned down.
I'm not saying, listen, I will take some money to use a product and give an honest review at the end of the day of that product. And tell you what, don't be surprised if that in 2 years that product sucks. I might say something about that. If it does really well, I will definitely say something about that. So it goes to, you know, how good is your quality of product? And if you're not willing to stand behind your product and my abuse of said product, then I don't think we should do.
Well, the problem is that everything that's been offered to me as some sort of ad has been something to do with some sort of gaming, or I just don't feel like I have the audience that's gonna they're gonna be like, what the French toast, CP? Like you literally sold yourself out for $2,500. You know,
definitely another aspect of it too.
Right, like just to do, it's like like the AG1 stuff. It's not. I've tried it. It's not.
Yeah.
It's kind of expensive for what it is, and you can buy cheaper stuff, way cheaper.
I tell you what, I do not really even know what AG greens are because whenever any of those commercials come on, it's skip.
Yeah.
I skip.
Yep.
And that's the problem. Why I don't understand why anyone advertises that way really anymore, because like Alex Steele, he does I think very good job of the.
I like how Cletus does it right at the beginning of the video, and you just fast forward through it.
I like that. Alex talks about it for like 5-10 seconds in the beginning of the video, and at the end of the video does the full thing, and you can just be like, well, there's nothing more to see here, and you leave the video. So it's like I don't know.
I hate it when they do it in the middle of the video. That's what pisses me off. I really.
Yeah, I'm not exactly.
Quite frankly, though, you know what I'd rather see is somebody that is more needing or more deserving of it get that opportunity to do it. But they base it all on subscriber count.
Views and then guaranteed views. Is that the other one they talk about now?
What's that?
Guaranteed views. Is that the new thing they talk about now?
Yeah, I don't even. There's so many of the same Raycon, and it's all the same shit over and over on every one of them. Which is they beat them down, but you know why they're all doing it is because they're all getting paid $30,000 to do it.
Well, yeah. At the end of the day, it's
anybody with over 100,000 subscribers basically gets offered $30,000. It's like
I don't know. The shorts market, I think, has changed that a bit.
Yeah, it might be because I do know that I had a couple of people that they sent up offers and they said, but you can't do shorts.
Well, yeah, because that's the trick. Because how do you do a short? Like, how do you sell a short as an ad? And to that, I say, well, that's all a short is. I mean, anyone who's been doing anything good with shorts should have been using shorts to be the ad for their channel. Because there's very few people making money off of shorts.
I'll tell you what, Gears and Wheels, turning down products is really not. You'd be surprised. There's some diamonds in the rough. I'll tell you what. Here's my view on it. And this is why I stopped turning down some products, was because I literally was like, some of this stuff is actually, when I got it, I was like, oh, this is not near as bad as I thought it was. And believe it or not, there's people out there that they're happy to get it, or happy to try it, or they're, thankful. There's just, you just never know. There's somebody out there for everything. Everything has a place. That's what everybody's been saying to me for
Well,
3
of
years.
course, the old there's an ass for every seat. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And you know what? If you're gonna do what I do, where I talk about tools and shit, does that mean you should just discriminate against everything? Well, I do that enough as it is. So
I don't know, man. It's
it is what it is. At the end of the day, I'm not hurt.
well,
It's not hurting me any. I can tell you that much.
yeah.
It's not been. It's there's some stuff that's I've turned down, and I'm like, eh. I mean, like people, like I had a guy offer. There's a company that offered
What
me
do you?
a batch.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. What do you say by turned down? Because I get things in the email every now and again that I'm just like, yeah, that's probably not real. So I never respond to it. So does that consider turning it down?
No, well, like for instance, we'll just talk. I'll just talk about one that So this one they just sent me was for let me get it here. It's useful DIY tools. And it's like they had like, well, I turned down one for Wi-Fi smart locks, and then one was for like yard tools, like
Yeah.
a dethatcher, like a cordless dethatcher. And I was like, what do I don't want this, And then of course there's this. I always get the ones Pure Springs Media, Black Ink, I get tons of these. Dreamtail Studio. All these are wanting me to do some sort of 60-second ad, and they're willing to pay me anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000. And I'm like, and I turn those, and I've turned down at least probably 50K in those, at least, and that's not exaggerating. At least 50K. Costway. That's the one that was Costway. I said to him, they said, glad to know, nice on, they, send you a deal. And I said, what products do you have in mind? They sent me back their links, and it's like costway.com, and it's an electric lawnmower. And I'm like, dude, what am I going to do with an electric lawnmower on my, like, first of all,
do you
it's no
watch
underground.
my channel? Like, who's doing your R&D and like reach out on this, or is this just a spam? Like, are they just spamming YouTubers at this point? Like,
yeah. Well, some of them are. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting a lot more than most people are because.
Well, and here's the real question: is YouTube selling this information to these companies?
No.
How they find out?
No. Here's the thing. This is no joke. Listen to me on this one, and this is a good bit of information that for anybody that's a YouTuber. So if you do take a sponsorship, remember those people will sell your information.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, the first person that does get you is going to then tell everybody else.
Got one that did that to me. They hit me they sold my information. I was madder than hell. One of those China companies. And
that wouldn't surprise me.
I lit them up.
Like the only I would like to work with any of the UTV companies in the United States in any capacity. I really, really, really need a tire company to work with me. That could be internationally. I'm a whore for rubber. You heard it here first. Because I need tires on so many vehicles. I lost Chad completely here. He left, came back.
Sorry about
that whole conversation there. What's up, bud?
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
What did you say? So if I was going to do anything with somebody, I would do with.
If I was going to do anything with anybody, it would be some sort of U.S. UTV company. Like, anyone doing something with UTV stuff, send it to me.
Oh yeah.
On a rig, and
you know what?
I will review whatever type of deal would be awesome. But outside of that, internationally some sort of rubber tire. I said I'm a whore for a rubber company. Somebody put tires on all my shit. I would love that.
I don't know what the perfect method is for anything. I really don't care at this point anymore. It's like,
Super clean videos where Everyone was doing super clean.
Oh yeah, super clean, definitely spam. That was a legit spamming. Like super clean, and then I would say Ulsa Tools
Well,
again.
so super clean, I don't think was a spamming as much as like I think there was a person whose their job was to contact every fucking YouTuber
Yeah,
that might use their shit. That's not
that's
spamming.
spamming,
That no, that's a guy doing a job.
dude.
I
But
feel
he
like
literally
I feel like
contacted every
spamming.
YouTuber. It didn't matter
Yeah,
who it was. He
yeah,
sent
but
it to
that works
everybody.
well. But that
I
works
mean,
well.
and you know what the sad part about it is? Here's the sad part about this.
Well, that's
Okay.
the thing. You're saying he sent it to everybody, but that implies that there's a master list of automotive YouTubers that may use this. That dude
Yeah.
had to go find these channels and send them, and at that point, I don't consider that to be spam. There was some work put into that. You know what I mean?
Uh, yeah. See, I did the super clean.
Or
I did the super
or
clean for
did
the free hat and shirt.
yeah, see, there you go.
I listen. Here's the thing: is though, super clean had a name anyways beforehand. So, but they
True.
were going through. They were going through. There was a list. It wasn't a list, okay, so to speak, wasted. What it was is
Yeah,
what they would click on a video, and then wherever those videos kept leading to,
but
like they would
that means somebody was doing a job. They paid a guy to essentially
but that's
go onto
spamming.
YouTube. I don't know. I guess spamming I see as there's a list or there's a thing or like chat or whatever, and you're just going to send the same thing over and over and over again until
Well,
somebody bites back.
so
I
that's
guess
how they
I just my definition. I guess.
right. Well, the spamming to me, spamming is post basically getting repeated post up no matter what,
Yeah.
like throwing out garbage no matter what.
Yeah. So I
So
feel like a guy at Super Clean whose job it is to track down and get YouTubers who work with my brand. It's not spamming if I go to his YouTube, every single channel I see and go, yeah, what's that guy's contact? Send him one.
I
You
mean
know what I mean?
the
It's
big
just, I don't know,
YouTubers did it
maybe.
too though. Big YouTubers did it too though. There's not just
I,
little YouTubers. It was big
that's what I'm
YouTubers
saying.
were doing it too.
Well, think about it from the other end. Think about this. Okay, you are Super Clean, and you got 20-something-year-old fucking guy who shows up and says, hey, what if we can get all these YouTubers to do this? And you pay me to do that.
I totally agree. And you know what? Also, I totally agree with that. I don't. This is why I say though, people worry about what other people think
Mm-hmm.
about doing some kind of review. But if you want to do it, do it. You know,
Well,
don't.
that's where what we talked about earlier. There's nothing wrong in doing an honest review, but everyone needs to have the conversation with themselves. There's a difference between a review and there's a difference between an advertisement. An
Mhm.
advertisement is paid for. This is
Right.
a paid advertisement, and a review is normally like they gave you this ratchet, and I
Right.
use this ratchet. I I've used this ratchet for a little bit. It hasn't fucked up. Seems like a good ratchet because X, Y, and Z.
Uh,
And there's a difference there in expectations. And then some people think, well, they gave you that ratchet, so you gave them a good review. Well,
well,
no.
and you know that's funny though, because Project Farm likes to bring that up quite a bit about how I don't take products, but the thing about it is that people can still do a review on something, give an honest review. In fact,
Yeah.
I gave such an honest review on something that a company contacted me and they said, "We want you to take that video down." I said,
Yep.
"What for?" And I was
So
like,
I think, do you ever watch? I don't know what you watch for tech stuff. Do you ever see any of the Linus Tech stuff? You ever heard of him?
"Who's that?"
He is a Canadian guy and has a complete media like empire for tech stuff.
Okay.
Computer stuff. It's big. Like if you look at like you probably have seen memes of him and or seen him and don't even recognize who he or don't know who he is. But um, he does very and is known for honest reviews, and that is a thing in the tech world. Like certain companies don't like to send their rigs as demos to people. That's the thing that's been getting into more and more recently. Like Nvidia and stuff has been holding on to cards and not giving them because this person always gives them shit reviews essentially.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's one of those where that's a very fine line to watch. I think if you want to see somebody who is killing the game of YouTube, do some research into Linus in the Linus Tech LMG. Linus Media Group is what this dude has set up there. They just started. They just got all of their own equipment to test everything electronics on the same standards that are supposed to be being tested as they leave the factory from the separate factories. So they can test this all and give you real reviews with real data, other than we like this one because reasons. But it's wild what they've done. I think he's up to a YouTube channel that started in a house. Well, originally he did a YouTube channel for a Canadian, essentially Circuit City. And then when they started going downhill and losing what was going on, he jumped ship and started his own YouTube thing. And it's turned it from 7 people. I think they have like 40 people working there now or something like that. It's stupid.
Wow. The haters were right, wasting my money. Yeah, he does a shitload of product review on computer stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and there's a bunch of different channels. He's gotten multiple channels, over 1 million subscribers, and he's really full of himself, and he's very, like there's a lot of people who are like, fuck that guy. Like, you know what I mean? He's definitely one of those, like, you either like Linus or you hate Linus. I don't feel like you stand in the middle. And some early day stuff, like, he would just lose his shit on people. It was kind of, he's very like a little man syndrome, I think.
Right.
In some regards, but I don't know. I used to watch them back like a long time ago for a little while, and then
never even heard of this guy. Didn't even know. There's so many YouTube channels I just don't really know. So that's just blows my mind.
I think I really got in when I was looking at building that editing rig that I built years ago for YouTube. I was doing a lot of research into how do you build, what best reviews, all that type of crap. You know what I mean? And I think that's how I found him. And then they did some, like, they were doing a bunch of funny stuff. I don't know. I identify with Canadian humor.
Well, you know what the thing is, though, is at the end of the day, all this information, like, especially reviews, are huge on YouTube for a reason.
Oh yeah.
You know, the reason is people can watch 4 or 5 of them and usually come up with a general idea of what they want. So there might be something that you see that somebody says something in this video or shows something in this video that you didn't see that angle. And I've seen that myself several times when I've done something. So, like, for instance, if I'm wanting to look at a razor and, you know, you have one and then you're like talking about it and, you're talking about your razor and just basically giving general things, you know, you've been driving it for a while. Whereas some of these guys get these things given to them to do a review on them. They drive them for a day in a video and they're like, oh man, this thing's awesome. Okay. Now let's say they've got 10 million subscribers, you know, and it's like the side by side blog, we'll just say, for instance, you know, I mean,
they're a little bit different because I think the side by side blog guys aren't the guys that come out and give you a review any less as good as like when they flew Cooper and Cletus out to review the new Corvettes. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's a valid input, but I think the side by side guys are good. They break the shit out of their stuff and show you exactly what's wrong with things. You know what I mean?
Well,
like they're not.
But I was just getting at what I was getting at is just when a lot of these guys get some of this stuff. I was just saying in general, where they get something and then they use it, but they never talk about it again. You know, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like they move on to the next big thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's always
the next 5 seconds, whatever is keeping your okay. Well, yeah, no, you're not wrong.
Whenever the new hotness comes out, it's like you can't really tell what it's going to be worth. You know, like, for instance, my DeWalt Impact when I first got it, my one biggest concern was, is this thing going to hold up? I mean, it's got a lot of power, but now
wheels, we appreciate it, brother. Have a good night. That was a while ago.
But now that I've been using it for well over a year, I feel comfortable with saying this thing's solid as a rock. You know, the battery lasts, everything's good on it, you know. But how could you can't do that. There's no way to prove that. And even if you did some sort of torture testing on a vehicle, on a computer, whatever it may be, when it's brand new, there's no way to tell. I mean, phones, you know, like people, like when the latest phone.
Yeah, you run that with the. I mean, look at the upgraded Milwaukee ratchet Impact, whatever it was, the one that would shear off the gears because they changed the gear reduction ratio or whatever it was.
Well, like cell phones, even though cell phones is a big one. If I'm looking at buying new, cell phone, I go look at these cell phone reviews, something comes out like, and everybody's like, oh, this is this and this and that, but you don't know what the downfalls are going to be. What, like, is this thing going to have screen problems, breaking, or what kind of?
Well, yeah, but you're also running into, once you talk about phones, you got forced obsolescence. Like that's a real kick in the in the knackers there. You know what I mean? Because you got to get this new one every year. So
Well, yeah, but
everything.
that's what I mean. And now they're $1,000, 1,500. For
Oh,
these
it's not
phones.
even more. Yeah. Well, and they let's face it, they've already been caught before making these things brick themselves, so we buy new ones. What
Right.
really makes you think they're not still somehow doing something
Well,
along
dude,
those lines?
we caught the worst. Like kids will never know how bad it was. Like we caught the worst. Think about it this way: if you started buying a cell phone, back in the early 2000s, okay, like the Nokia Snake phone or the brick,
Listen, that brick will still like do
it's
anything
still
you
the
need it to
toughest
do.
phone. Somewhere,
Like
somebody's using one of those still. Well, I don't
like
know
I want to
how.
see
It was on
the
analog.
scene in Snatch when the guy's buying the gun and he hands it to him, he says, "Wait, sign of reliability." Like I feel like we should change that gun out with a Nokia phone. Like that just needs to be
Right. And that
like
was like
the
the mecca, though. That was when cell phones started. But think about
oh
this.
yeah.
This is the technology for everything has changed so much drastically in 20 years versus
Well,
the previous 40. That
I don't know,
every
man. I don't know, man. Look at the age generation where you went from like plowing with an ox in the field to man on the moon. Like
right, that was
that is
40
a
years.
generation. That was a generation where the majority of the United States was remembering, plowing fields like that and like old timiness. And then when we're before they were gone, people were on the moon. They're not even that far, really. You know
Yeah,
what I
but it
mean?
was a decade before we went from black and white TV to a colored TV.
Well, I mean, listen, there were some, money was being dumped in places, but
But I mean, now,
I'm with you. It's a cascading effect. I think as you become with bigger tech, it puts bigger. But we really made the kind of
yeah,
jumps that you expected us to make? Like,
no,
where's
I
my
didn't
Jetson
expect them to
flying
be.
car?
Technology is advancing so fastly that's why I've had like 100 cell phones in 20 years.
No, you've had 100 cell phones in 20 years because someone has made billions of dollars off of an industry annually
That's
for you
because
to have as many things of those because they've decided that if we can make the thing smaller, we can make more of the
it's a
thing.
computer now. It's literally a pocket computer.
I
I
do
mean,
say every single time to, I think it was Mrs. Strode, every time, yes, I will have a calculator in my pocket when I need to do math. Thank you very much.
dude, if you would have had this in school, if you'd have had this phone in school, how smart would you be?
Not smart at all.
Well, I guess because you just look up all the answers. But
I'd
I
look up
mean,
all the answers. Well, I mean, but at the end of the day, I tell my kid all this all the time. Use your resources.
like
You know what I mean? So if it's a resource that's in your pocket, I mean, hell yeah.
that's just what blows my mind, though. I mean, I didn't have that opportunity when I was growing up,
Well,
and
neither
then
did I, but I mean, I didn't. Well, I mean, we had textbooks and other things. We had resources that we didn't
well,
fucking
yeah,
use then.
but yeah, and just it was not as easy to
I mean, don't
grasp.
get me wrong. These kids aren't using the phone in the class to do their times tables. They're texting or whatever it is they're freaking doing. Let's not kid ourselves here.
No, no, you're absolutely right. There's a
It's
lot
just
more
like
going on.
I wasn't using that book I was looking at to do whatever I was supposed to be doing in the book. Who knows
Yeah.
what I was up to.
When you're a kid, you always find a way to distract
Ex-
yourself from what you're
Well,
supposed to
and
be doing.
that's the thing that kills me sometimes. Is I like it's really weird coming back to my hometown and seeing a bunch of people that were kids the last time I saw them that have now kids that are about the same age that we were
Mhm.
essentially. It's just like some of these people I literally just blinked and left for 20 years, came back and like they have little them that are basically the people I remember seeing last time I saw them. What the hell happened here? You know what I mean?
Right?
And it's just like they're like, oh yeah, they're like those parents, like good parents, but like, don't be doing this and keeping just like I remember what you were doing when they were your what? what happened here? It's like when I was that age out here every weekend, every night, we were doing something out in the woods, parties of some sort. And I go out in the woods, and other than like tweaker encampments and things of that nature, there's no one out in the woods doing anything other than us four wheeling and whatnot.
Nope. You know, that's what I did too, though. I was out in the woods all the time. I just opened my phone up, and guess what? It's like talking to you somehow promoted your shorts right up onto my channel, and the picture where it's such a good shot. That
Oh yeah,
mountain log, which
that
was
was
today.
yeah. I just put that up today. So I've been kind of taking it easy because shorts were like nothing but an ad thing, and recently shorts have been really all over the place. So I was just
Right.
doing one a day. But now that today apparently we're getting paid for shorts, I was like, shoot, I'll put 3 up and see what that
Yeah,
does.
I do enjoy watching you do your driving around. It was fun watching
Yeah,
that live stream when you were up there in the middle of
I'm
nowhere.
gonna try and do some more of those. The problem with those is there's only a few spots that I can do them at with connectivity and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh, the guys
So that
dude, this
that
place. What is it? Is that your guys' place? Where the four wheelers
which
ripping around?
that is my dad's shop. That's what we're in the dungeon, the lower level of that
Oh,
building.
okay. That's awesome. Just a full place to just go buck wild right there.
Yeah, well, yeah, to an extent.
I'm sure he does not like that there's a racetrack around his building.
There's not. We were that was like, okay, we're gonna have to go somewhere else now. We can't do that anymore.
I used to
like,
do that
I'm
when
like,
I was.
I'm like, I know we're about to get yelled at if we keep doing this. So
We had a shop that I worked at that. Then there's another video of him ripping around. We had a shop that I worked at that the guys the road or the deal wrapped around his shop like that. And we used to race four wheelers there all the time. And the lady would get so mad. She'd be like, "There's rocks hitting my siding every time you guys go around there."
so this
But,
place is wild. This was originally a house site that was just the foundation. They had just poured the foundation and put the septic system in, and that is as far as they had got with it. And then I don't know what happened, life, whatever. The whole place got abandoned because the actual house got like half done. Like they were going to build all of this, and then they ran out of money or whatever happened. It sat for 10 years, 5 years, whatever it was. And so when we came here, it was like overran by animals and peacocks and it was good. I remember my mom. We pulled up and my mom was like, "I'm not getting out of the van." I was like maybe, what was I? Maybe 5 years old, and so this place was just awesome because it was wild.
have you done any drone footage of you just riding on like a long trail yet?
I haven't. The problem I run into is having someone to drive the drone, and I don't do good at not being driving the car.
Right.
So I did take the drone to that one live we did on top of the rock. I
Uh-huh.
took the drone there one day and got some drone footage of us like on top of the rock and flying, which is wild because that rock is so much further off of the, like there's one spot that the cliff goes down probably 200 feet, but it doesn't seem like it from where you're sitting on top of it until you get like some perspective on it. It's wild.
How badass is the Milwaukee hatchet for you in the
Dude, that thing is actually the truth. We'll see how well the blade is doing. Because I've been, doing little trees and stuff.
dude, I torture tested that, cutting the limb off my, like, there's a bunch of people that were hating on me. And they're like, "Well, you're using that thing wrong," or blah, blah, blah. I was like, dude, I didn't
Oh
care. My
yeah,
whole point was if I was in a situation like what you were doing, where I'm out
yeah,
on the, busting trails and stuff, that's
yep.
exactly what I want. That tool is perfect, like better than carrying a full chainsaw.
It's
You know?
way better because I can still put 4 people in there and it can sit with the cover on it in between. I've got a little Milwaukee bag that has most of the tools I need, and then that Milwaukee
Right.
guy sits in the center console back there, and I still put 4 people in the rig and go. I'm working on some better storage solutions, but I just the rig is a very necessity driven
Right.
upgrade deal. Like I just got new tires, and I'm very bad about it too. It's like before I could get new tires, I bought $700 K&L tire machine off of
Mhm.
some tweakers. No, they probably weren't tweakers, but it was definitely
Is it the blue one?
yeah, that blue one.
Oh yeah, that's what Gears and Wheels has got.
Listen, that is I paid $700 for it and I overpaid.
Mhm. You
They told
overpaid?
me I overpaid. They told me this thing, they'd just been using it. I showed up and they're like, "Oh yeah, we just been using it." I'm like, well, where are the hooks that go on top to cup the wheel?" And they're like, "Well, we don't use them like that. We just use it. It just clamps on. You put it on here and it pulls out." So they were compressing it to where it would go in. Those uprights, they would just let hit the inside of the rim when it would come back out, and that's how it would hold it against steelies. And I'm just like, oh no. So I'm like, yeah, it's missing pieces. I'll do. They wanted 1,000. Well, originally they were 1,500, and I didn't even go until they dropped it to 1,000. And then I was like, I'll do 800. And she's like, "Oh, but I want to see it work when I come back. I needed to go get the truck and trailer to get it and whatever." I come back and it's her and these other two dudes, and they've got the air compressor going, and I'm trying to make it work, and it's just not working right. And the bead won't work. The whole reason I wanted it was for the D beater because I didn't want to break the beads any
Right.
other way. You know,
Oh yeah.
I was like, the rest of it I'll play with, but the D beater is what I really want it for. Because I put a hole in the sidewall of one of the beadlock tires in the back bead. I didn't want to hammer off, so I was just
Right.
like, that was my excuse. So I come back and I can't get it to work right. And he's like, "Oh, we just used it." I'm just like, "This is bullshit," but I know how to fix everything on it. It's all solenoids, and it was bypassing air on a solenoid. So I was like, well, either solenoid's bad or it's got a bad, ram. Well, it was a bad ram. It was full of mud. Like, I don't know if this thing was in the desert for 10 years and then someone moved it to the swamp or put, a non-air dryer on it. I don't know. I had to clean out the ram, rolled the O-ring. I put it back together, and I was so pissed when I did it. I didn't really like film it. So I ended up getting it for $700, dumped another $100 into it. Now it all works, but it was a bunch of time, and I was just like, really?
The turntable's really slow on it, isn't it?
It's not too slow, but yeah, it could be a little faster.
But for a cheap machine, I'd often thought about buying one for home here,
Well,
but
so I'm in this whole thing $800. The best I could do before freight shipping of any kind was on a used unit $2,500 is what the best I could do.
no shit, they're selling them for $1,500, and I can pick them up in town here with a
Who's got
balancer.
them?
With a
Who's
balancer.
got them? Like guy on eBay or Facebook or whatever, or like,
I think it's the tire company here, the local tire company. I think they're
yeah.
selling them. I think it's like Myers Tire. We have a Myers
Who's
Tire company. Of course, you got to think
got the same thing?
Firestone and Tirestone are here. Firestone and Titan are here.
Yeah,
So,
true.
so we have.
Yeah, out here in the middle of nowhere, I don't have a balancer. I wish I did, but for off-road stuff, I don't keep weights.
No, you don't need it for that. No.
Yeah,
But
like
hell, if
I
you
got
just
the
get into
the
town,
one set of beadlocks I bought so I put a hole in the one tire. First set of tires I got made it until they were almost dead, and I put a hole in the tire, like a 2-inch gash right in the center. And then I nursed that tire all the way home with that little Milwaukee M12 air compressor. Like, I don't know if you saw that short. It was a while ago, but like, this is a big hole, and I nursed her all the way home. Made it. Didn't put one scratch on the rim.
wow.
Torched the tire. It was when I took the tire off. It had lots of BBs inside. But you know what? She got me home. But that was the first set. Then I went and got a set of beadlocks that were stock. Somebody's takeoff. $500 for beadlock 14-inch rims with brand new tires. $500. I was like, I can't beat that. And to have spares, because that was the other problem that one at night. I didn't have a spare to put on at all because I didn't have one yet. So $500, whole set of tires gives me some spares. I was like, hell yeah. And it had weights on the inside of the stock rims. I was like, huh, that's cool. Wonder how long they'll last. Made it to the top of the hill, top of the mountain. So about probably a 15-minute ride, maybe 10, 15 miles, give or take. Yeah, probably not even. And they were all gone. Who knows where those weights ended up?
Dude, you got the life going on there right now, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would like to be retired like that.
Well, it's not all puppies and candy, like I mean, so I'm renting a place over here because the inflation of the market out here is ridiculous.
Right.
But I like being in this area. I like the fact that my kid is going through the school system that I went through 20 some freaking years ago. Well, probably 30 years ago now. God, we're old. I like that his grandparents are across the street or in the same area that he can do things with. I like all these things. I don't like that I don't have my own place. I don't like I don't have my own garage. I don't like that I don't have I don't even know what the hell I'm really doing. I need a project to dump myself into, which at this point should be a piece of land. They said, I need a project, and I have a bunch of little projects. Like the Subaru needs like $5,000 to be finished. The Z is done. I drove it a little bit, but it was just one of those deals where I just never had time or anybody else that wanted to go play with,
right.
type of deal. And then the ramp truck I have it. One day I'll do something with it, but it's just sitting.
Did you say ramp truck?
Yeah, the ramp truck. You remember my ramp truck?
Ramp truck. Oh yeah.
The Cadillac.
Right. Right.
And that's just sitting over at the house. So all of those projects take money and are not really going to make any real money for me. You know what I mean? They're all going to be fun, and one day I'll finish them probably.
Right.
But I've stopped taking on new projects at this point too.
It's hard to do. I took on a new project myself. I've
Well, are you talking about the truck or did you take on another new project?
I've had to take on several side projects because I just
Okay.
had stuff going on. But so I blew my Subaru up this week.
Oh no.
Check out how I did it though. This is the best part. Not even a good way. Not even a fun way.
Oh, no.
This lovely weather we've been having. And you know how Subarus have those nice hydraulic tensioners on the timing belts, right?
Oh yeah.
So when it gets cold and you don't know that your hydraulic tensioner busted a seal, you lose slack in your belt and go to start your engine up when it's below -4 at 5 in the morning. You know what that does to a 2.5 EJ engine, right?
Well, that makes all of the valves kiss all of the.
They just make this horrible foul noise.
Yeah.
At 5 a.m. in the morning, that makes them
noise. Yeah. It's a very distinct noise that you know instantly that is the moment he knew. He fucked up.
So I've been working on a new Subaru that I picked up, which is a 2010. Put a new transmission, and I haven't had time. I didn't have time to film it. New timing belt, new water pump, new everything. Just making sure this thing's in perfect shape. But I've got about $3,000 in this one now. So, but I still got. Still a good price. But it's another Forester, just nicer and whatnot. But what are you gonna do? And I was like, or I could have replaced the engine in this 2003, which has 250,000 miles on it, and it would have cost me $2,000. Spend another $1,000, buy another one that had a blown or bad transmission, and replace the transmission, or put a motor in mine. So I picked the lesser of two evils. Is basically all I did. I spent $1,000 more. So now I don't have any money in that car, so it didn't owe me anything. But and I could just drive my truck, but I want a car because gas prices. You never know when they're going to go to $6 a gallon, and I don't want to be caught with my pants down paying driving something that's only getting 10 miles a gallon. My truck is sitting with a full tank of fuel in it too, so that always makes me feel good.
Well, and that's I've got it's nice being back reunited with my fleet, so I just take different vehicles all of the time, which makes me feel like I'm not
right.
Not beating any particular. Yes, Yes, that I'll go months without really paying. Well, the side by side, the Can-Am, it has a steady fuel consumption because it gets driven probably more than everything else, like
Right.
consistently by itself. Um, like I'm claiming mileage on that thing this year on my taxes, like because it's a
Well,
company vehicle.
can you legalize that on the road now?
No,
There, you can't
no,
there.
no, nope,
Are
not at
you
all in
kidding me?
Oregon. But it
They've
doesn't
legalized it
matter.
in Iowa now. You can drive them on the
Oh yeah,
on.
no, they specifically made it to where you cannot do that in Oregon.
That is some
Like
bullshit.
like not only did they not leave it vague, they actually put some specific ass shit in there to make sure you can't do side by sides.
I'm sorry, but you know what? My problem with Oregon is just never. That's just I just cannot see why I got. It's almost like they're trying to turn it into California.
Well, that's the fun part. It is and it isn't because
It's beautiful
yes,
state, but like they're just wrecking it
well,
with.
they're trying to like they're trying to turn it into California, but somewhere along the line, there's another set of factions like the Hunger Wars or whatever over here. There's another faction that is trying to save it from everyone, including themselves,
Oh yeah,
which then makes it its own thing too. So it's wild. I love Oregon. It's pretty.
yeah. I know.
And we'll see. I like the no sales tax. I'm a really big fan of no sales tax.
Right.
Um,
I don't
I
definitely get that option here at 7%.
Yeah, I see, and I like a lot of things that Idaho does. Don't get, and Idaho's right over there. But when I go to Idaho, I'm just like, where are all the trees? Until you get up where like the Grindhard plumbing guys are in like Montana part of upper,
Right, right there in the Pulse.
if you're around Boise, it's very deserty. You get
It's
Mount
really
Hood.
expensive too, doesn't it?
I don't know. I haven't really tried to live in
I've
there
heard.
or looked
Well, I've
into.
heard people that used to live in Jackson Hole, moved to Idaho because of the amount of money that it cost them to live there. So I have a friend who makes cakes, believe it or not, for weddings and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Let me see. Let me see here this real quick. Oh, they're down in the lower part. So Jackson Hole is down in the lower part of Idaho, but nonetheless,
Yeah.
down by Idaho Falls. If you
Yeah.
move to Idaho Falls, it's like literally taking a 10% cut because Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and stuff like that are just is just ridiculous money to live at. Like a house in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, that's like 1,000 square feet, 400 grand,
Yeah.
and we're
No,
not
that's
talking anything with a yard.
that is so well. Okay, so right now, if they want a 5 acre lot with 1,000 square foot hovel, you're looking $400,000. I watched a place down the road that was 1,400 square feet with a detached garage and a detached garage, on a lot that was 5 acres with 7 trees on the entire 5 acres. Sell for almost 610 or something like that thousand.
Unbelievable.
It's ridiculous. When I first got here, there was a 5 acre parcel with a trailer, mobile home on it. It sold at that point for $480,000, and at that point, I was like, "That's wild." Since then, I can tell you the market has dropped about 100,000 from the ridiculous numbers they were speaking about then. And I'm like, that dude, depending on what he paid down, is $100,000 in the hole on that house right now, by my math. It's like
Unbelievable.
that sucks. And everyone's like, it's gonna bounce back, and I'm like, I hope it doesn't, because I still am not bought in yet. And once I buy in, I don't care what it does.
Wow.
And I want a project piece of land to
Right.
do some tractor, because I will tell you, little dozer stuff has done very well on my channel. The problem is that
Oh
I
yeah,
don't.
I've definitely noticed how little dozer videos have taken the Wasted Talent Fabrications channel
And
to new heights.
it's one of those things I didn't realize. Like till this day, if I do anything little dozer, wood shopping, wood anything related, construction anything related on the channel,
Oh yeah,
it
dude.
does really well. They have put me into that niche, and that's where I'm at. The problem is I'm not continuing to do that stuff because it's not presented itself with me right
Right.
now. Writing is what's presented itself, and it's something I enjoy.
Yeah, dude, it's well, people love equipment. I know that. I mean,
Yeah.
Diesel Creek. I mean, I can name off the channels that do that kind of stuff, logging, and they love that shit.
Oh yeah.
It's I mean,
All
it's,
right, brother. It's getting
yeah, I gotta get it's
late.
12:30. I jumped
Yeah.
on to go ahead and talk to you. I was hoping dudes would come on. I just figured I like talking to you guys versus texting and whatnot, you know.
No,
No.
I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, I know he was. I think he had something going on, or he's been going. He's been working a lot lately. So
Yeah, I have been
these
too.
during the week ones, I'm like, I don't know if anyone. That's why I put the link up. I was like, anyone wants to come on in, like,
Yeah,
type
I
of
didn't.
deal.
I didn't even do a live last Friday because I was so tired. I was like, "This is. I don't even. I'm just not. I'm not
I'm
excited
in
about."
and out, like we were talking about earlier. I'm in and out with everything going on. I have no real schedule, and I'm down for everything, which then makes doing like dudes and I've done some of these lives where like not many people show up or whatever it is, and it's like I get it because it's like no one knew. They're like, oh shit, we didn't know, and it's like yeah, I get it. I don't even know sometimes. You know, sometimes we'll be on the side of the mountain and be like, we're doing a live now.
Yep, I like the randomness. It's just well, like
Yeah,
tonight, I was sitting down to get ready to go to bed, and then you were on. And I was like, "Oh shit, he's on. He's got a link up. I'll just jump on,
hell
bullshit
yeah,
with
brother.
him a little bit." So it was good chatting with you, nonetheless.
You too, brother. I'll hit you up.
All right, buddy. Talk to you later.
I go later.